Hello and welcome to the Super Basement Bros Show. I'm Connor and I'm joined by my co-hosts Tanner and Hasten.
Hi.
This is episode, I think like 26 now because of E3.
E3.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Really boosted
E3.
us
We
up.
went up like 5 episodes.
Which guys, go
we
check it
pushed some
out.
content out.
Yeah, speaking of E3, this episode is actually our E3 just recap overall episode. We're all gonna, we haven't had a chance to all sit down, talk about all the reveals. We had coverages of every conference after they came out all last week during E3, but we haven't had just a sit down where we can all talk about it, discuss the conferences and rank them and all that stuff. So that's kind of what we're going to do on this episode here today.
Well, and if you're wanting to like go find one specific where you want to hear in depth about like the Nintendo one or Xbox, go check those out.
We have reactions.
It's the most
to every
recent ones on
conference.
our channel.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And if you guys didn't know, if you're joining us for the first time, we're a podcast dedicated to celebrating the world of entertainment. So we discuss everything from movies, video games, pop culture, theme parks, all that jazz. This episode is going to be
sometimes.
This episode is going to be very heavily focused on video games, obviously, because it's our E3
So
recap.
leave now, game haters.
Just
kidding, stay please.
Okay, but do you want to pick about social media?
Yeah, guys, go check us out on Instagram and Twitter. At Instagram, we're just at Super Basement Bros, and on Twitter, we're on Super Bros Videos. We post about every time we upload, so we post. We have one that we got one that got like 1,000 likes, so we're like pumped and ready. So
yeah, we're famous.
Yeah, famous,
We famous, boy.
we famous.
But yeah, so go follow us on all that stuff. You can find us on all your favorite podcast services as well. We're up on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify. Go follow us on all that.
The ones that matter.
Google Home.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and jump into our thoughts on E3 overall. I just want to get your guys' baseline thoughts.
Real quick, should we consider E3 even like the week before? Because a lot happened.
Oh,
even
yeah,
like the
E3,
week before E3 and
E3,
past.
I say
Because like
starts
PlayStation
with
did
Stadia.
everything for them the week before.
Week before, same with Bungie.
Well, all their like
Gearbox.
announcements that are outside press conferences. Yeah, let's give all of our thoughts on that in general, and then as we go on, though, I want to do our own personal ranking of the conferences.
Let's do it.
But yeah, let's just talk about E3 as a whole to start. Let's
Okay.
jump right into it.
I guess
what's your base level thoughts?
base level thoughts. I actually thought it was one of the better E3s in my opinion, because a lot of stuff that I like was talked about. I know some people have some other opinions that it maybe not was so good, and it was sucky that PlayStation didn't come. As much as I'm a PlayStation hater, they do bring a lot to the table. They bring a lot of games and stuff, but I still think it was a great E3. Hopefully, we get E3 next year and ongoing because E3 is amazing. So.
For me, I thought it was a subpar E3. It wasn't my favorite. I had a lot of hope and excitement going into it because I really thought we were going to get like a big blowout, especially of stuff we were going to see
for next year.
In
Which
future
we did.
Which game-wise, yes. I'm talking
yeah.
in terms of consoles, though. I thought we were going to get... I actually didn't think that. I take that back.
We're getting
but I had
Project
hopes.
Scarlet.
Yeah, Project Scarlet, yeah.
And the PS4?
I take that back. I didn't think we were going to get that, but I had hopes that we would. Mm-hmm. And I guess, like I was saying, I don't think this was a bad E3 by any stretch of the imagination. There was a lot to love. And for me personally, Nintendo blew it out of the park for me. Yeah. Like, Nintendo saved this E3 for me. But otherwise, like, Xbox had a great conference as well. I enjoyed a lot of their stuff. But everyone else was just pretty mediocre for me. It was just kind of like... A lot of it was 2019 or 2020 cinematics. We didn't get any. One of the biggest criticisms for this E3 that we've heard everywhere is no gameplay.
It was all cinematic.
Every trailer was cinematic, and everything was 2020 or
even
further.
some of the things coming out this year, it was like, here's some cinematics.
Well, what I've heard, like
Gears 5.
Gears 5, yeah, people were pointing out like we didn't
know gameplay for Gears 5
comes out
this
in like
year.
4 months.
Granted,
September,
I think we have seen gameplay before, but like. The fact that they wouldn't show gameplay for a game that comes out in 3 months is like that's weird.
The first.
Well,
first
did you
thing
notice they even said like the guy who came down when it was like underneath the stage? He's like, these 3 WWE superstars are about to play Gears 5. They didn't even show them playing it. You know, like we didn't even see that. Mm-hmm. One big thing I've been hearing this E3 being called is the year of promises, because we got a lot of promises like this will happen, but nothing like tangible evidence. Yeah, yeah, because like even something like xCloud. Like they had stuff to show, but they didn't. You know,
Yeah.
like a lot of stuff that wasn't shown, like even like Portrait Ghosts. They
Before we
didn't mention that
get too
was
far
released.
into the weeds
Yeah,
and stuff,
yeah.
I want to get Hasten's
Definitely.
base level opinion. What's your thought?
I wasn't exactly thrilled with this E3. I mean, it was okay. Like, I thought Xbox did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for the Avengers game. I know a lot of people are like doubting it, but
Yeah.
we'll talk about that later. But other than that, there wasn't a whole lot. I mean, Square Enix and Xbox are the only ones that I was like, yeah, woohoo.
I think Ubisoft had a pretty decent one too.
Ubisoft was the worst for me, like by far.
Really?
Personally, yeah.
Watch Dogs
It's like
Legion
Watch
was
Dogs.
cool,
I think was
but-
cool.
Watch Dogs, but like outside of Watch Dogs Legion, like what?
I mean, they had the
piqued your
Ghost
interest?
Recon.
Yeah, they had the Ghost
But
Recon
does
with
that
John
pique
Bernthal.
your?
It doesn't
interest?
pique my interest, but I definitely
And that's what I
think
mean.
it's
Is like
yeah.
ultimately, here's the thing. Every one of these conferences had something for somebody.
Everybody.
Like if you're a fan of Elder Scrolls,
You
like
got something.
you got something at
Blades on Switch,
Bethesda's
and
conference.
Elder Scrolls.
But I feel like for my personal interests, and this is where ranking will come into play, because like for me, personal interest wise, Nintendo was the only one that had multiple moments that I was ecstatic about.
Yeah, I agree.
And like
The end of Xbox was really-
Xbox's conference. I was super hype about, and like it started super strong for me. But ultimately, looking back, there wasn't any big game reveal during Xbox's conference that I was like, "Holy crap! I can't wait for that."
It was more
you
just
know?
like talk of stuff we already know.
It was more showing off stuff we already knew and a lot of cinematics, and not like, you know, we got the trailer for Elden Ring, the new George R.R. Martin From Software game or whatever, and it was just a cinematic, and it's kind of like, I don't know what that game is.
Big thing for me was how much they went in with Game Pass. Like,
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
that's the biggest thing for me, and not so much games. Like,
I
sure, I'm
agree.
excited. They have some cool games coming, 2020, but with Game Pass, like all these are going to be free. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? All these games that they're making
yeah.
are going to be basically free.
Yeah,
I
if
mean,
you have
obviously you
Game
have to
Pass.
play subscription, but
That's what I was going to say. Is like the biggest thing for me is that
Real fast, I'm just going to mention, we apologize if you hear lots of noises around us right now. We're recording with...
There's a brothel happening
There's a big
upstairs.
party going on upstairs, and we're down here because we're losers. No, but yeah, we just apologize if there's a lot of noise, background noise.
But like I feel like with the Xbox, and I feel like that's why I feel like this E3 was so pretty good, is because Game Pass was such a big thing that people just they deny it, or they fail to realize how
a lot
good
of it's because people on like PlayStation and then people
They don't
with
get it, yeah.
PC haven't even tried it yet.
Well, in PC now they do is like, because granted, Xbox announced PC Game Pass a while back, like I think like a month or so ago, but they really went in depth with it this time, and literally like almost every game they announced, they're like debuting on Game Pass, games that are gonna be sick, like Minecraft Dungeons,
really,
Gears 5.
if you are a Xbox gamer, like through and through, like you mostly play on Xbox, I really believe like there's almost no reason why you shouldn't have.
I
Game
don't even
Pass
think
at
you
this
need
point,
to
you
like
know?
primarily play on Xbox. Just if like you play it every once in a while, you're getting so many free games.
What I mean though is if like somebody wasn't interested in like
Yeah.
Xbox exclusives, then
Then yeah.
you know. But I'm saying like if you have an Xbox and you
Because
play a
if
lot
like
on it,
if PlayStation does the same service, I'm not going to get it on PlayStation. You know what I mean? Because I don't get on PlayStation. You know what I mean?
But
I
what-
play exclusives.
I don't know if that's the thing though. Is I think you might
But
take
they
that
come
back
out
if they're
with
like, guess
one or
what?
two exclusives
No,
a year.
Death Stranding, God of War, the next Horizon.
But he
all
already
on,
has those.
But well, I'm talking the next ones.
Yeah.
All day one.
Because that's what I was
on
gonna
their
say.
service.
Something like for me,
That would be worth
that's
your
like
money.
appealing to me. Because like I've been skeptical buying a PS4. We talked about it before because I don't want to buy a PS4 and have to buy all these $60 games just for
They're
the
not
PS5.
$60 anymore.
Well, I know, but like just for the PS5 to come out, you know, like a Game Pass-esque thing on a PlayStation would be sick. I would buy a PlayStation 4 tonight and get that service so I could play God of War, Spider-Man, Uncharted, Last of Us without paying for them.
Yeah.
Because I know that they're gonna be games that I play and beat and never play.
One of my predictions
You know?
is that I'm almost positive PlayStation will like copy that
something.
model by the
they've
time
gotta.
the PlayStation 5 comes out.
Well,
in some way. you
Some
know?
big news that
I know they have PlayStation now, but it's not quite.
Some
the same.
big news that people don't talk about or make fun of is actually Project Scarlet. Like, we got a lot more than people think, because sure, the PlayStation head guy talked about it in a one-off interview that nobody really heard about, but like this was a big reveal. It was a reveal of the new console. They talked about specs, and we got huge news that every current game that you can play on your Xbox One can be played on the Scarlet. That is huge.
Yeah, they basically
PlayStation's
announced
shaking in their
backward
boots right now.
Yeah.
You know, they're shaking their boots like, "Frick, we gotta do
ultimately,
this."
I disagree with you that it was this huge moment. I know a lot of people like. I think.
But no, that's what I think.
I
It
think
wasn't
the thing is,
Project
at
Scarlet
that
for
moment
me-
they didn't announce anything.
Yeah, that's
the
problem.
days after on Twitter they started
Yeah.
revealing things.
But that's what I'm
like-
saying, is it wasn't a huge moment, which is weird.
Yeah, and
Because
the
it
thing
wasn't
is,
like this
and
big,
for me,
"Ooh."
it's like the stuff they announced, and the truth is, I know it wasn't nearly as I know it was 10 times more exciting than the way PlayStation did it. PlayStation did theirs in like just an interview, but really, if you compare the information, they're the exact same.
Oh, they're
as of this moment right now.
Besides
the
the backwards
PlayStation 5 and the
compatibility.
next Xbox are right down
Besides
the
backwards
exact same thing.
compatibility?
No,
But-
PlayStation 5 even announced PlayStation 4
for
backwards compatibility.
PlayStation 4.
Well, yeah, of course.
But
sure.
what I'm saying is the reason why is because Xbox, what they said is, I would understand. I would not be impressed whatsoever if they're like, Project Scarlet can play all your Xbox One games. I'm like, well, duh, it should. But like they're saying, all the games that you can play right now on your Xbox One, all those Xbox games and Xbox 360 on Scarlet, like the next gen console.
Yeah,
I'll be able to
and-
go play freaking Star Wars.
See, that's the thing is that, like,
Battlefront.
don't get me wrong, that's all awesome, that's all great,
Yeah.
and I know it's one of those things where it's like, it sounds like we're super spoiled or something, but I'm kind of like, I was expecting that, like that.
Another thing is
should
though,
be there
like
at this
all
point.
their controllers, all Xbox controllers, including the Elites and the Elite Series
That's
2, are going
nuts.
to work on the Project
Yeah.
Scarlet.
Because I remember that was one big
and
complaint about
and
the
a lot
Xbox
of people's
One.
favorite console is, or favorite controller is the Xbox
One.
Yeah, for
controller.
sure.
Well, and I remember when the Xbox One came out, I remember the guys I used to watch were kind of upset that you couldn't use the 360 controllers because they felt like it was superior. Of course, probably not now, but like the fact that you'll be able to actually use your favorite controller, buying the Elite controller just to use it for a couple months or a year would suck, but now you can use it forever. You know, they're basically trying to appeal to the fans, being like, you don't have to invest so much into this console and not play anything.
It's very the route Xbox is going is super consumer friendly,
Yeah.
and which I really appreciate. That's one thing Xbox does that I think better than PlayStation is they're very consumer friendly.
Which I will say, I do think it's very unlikely that PlayStation won't do this stuff.
That's
especially
the thing,
now.
is, like, as we've seen in the past,
Yeah.
there's been like these consoles are going to be very similar.
Oh.
And Xbox is going to announce something. And here's the thing: Xbox announced all this stuff. You have to imagine PlayStation's listening and being like, "Oh crap! If Xbox has this, we have to have that
this.
too."
Because
And then
it's gonna-
it goes vice versa. If PlayStation announced something that Xbox doesn't have, Xbox is going to go, "We have to have that."
Well,
you
I
know?
feel like that's why, personally, I think Xbox could have very well talked way more in depth about Scarlet. I think if it's coming out next year, they know everything about the console. And right now, they're just fine-tuning stuff.
I don't know if they
because
do, though.
if it's coming out next year, they've been working on this for 5+ years.
One piece of information we got at E3 was Xbox announced Larry, what's his name?
Larry Herb.
Yeah, one of the heads of Xbox.
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, he announced that Major Nelson. I think he goes by.
mhm.
Yeah, he announced that the Xbox 360 and original Xbox backwards compatibility program is done.
Yep.
They're not announcing any more games for it as of right now. Which
Which they already still have quite a bit.
oh, there's a
There-
ton they still can do. Yeah.
There's like some one-off ones that you'd be like, but
Well,
like other than that.
No,
most
I think
stuff
there's.
is-
I mean, ultimately, if you look at the catalog, there's still a lot they could do.
Well, I mean, like, but
but,
they've got most of the big ones.
Well, let me finish where I'm going with
Sorry.
this. But like, what I'm saying is, they announced that they're done with that to fully. The reason behind it was that they said because they're going to be fully focusing on Project Scarlet now, and so that to me almost makes it like, okay, so they're not done with this thing. Like you're saying, they're pretty much done with this thing. I don't think they are. I think
No, I'm
now
not-
they're going hard.
and I'm not saying they're done with it. I'm saying they know everything. They know what they want in the console.
I think
they're
know
not
the
like
basics.
they're not like, oh frick, should it be shaped like an X? Like they know what they
Yeah.
want with the console. Because
Yeah,
when
for
you're,
sure.
it's like when you're this late into like a movie, right? And you're developing a movie, you know what the like story is. You know what now they're like fine tuning and actually doing the stuff. They're putting it together, seeing how it works. But I'm saying like they already know what they.
The thing
want.
is, though, is
they
if-
know that they want.
What you're
backwards
saying is
compatibility.
basically is they're in the post production right now.
'Cause,
It's
like-
like how in a movie it's like the editing
Yeah,
process.
because I seriously
But-
doubt within the last month they were like, oh, we have to have backwards
Well, that's the
compatibility.
thing, though. That's
I
what
bet
was
it
gonna-
was like
That's
it's
what I was
been
going to
in the
say though.
works.
Is post production. That's where a lot of the movie changes. Actually,
Yeah.
like if you're talking from a film sense, in post production, things can change so much, and they can do reshoots. They can edit things completely different. Things change a lot towards the end, and so I wouldn't be surprised if something like, I don't think it was, but something like backwards compatibility could have been something they're throwing in right now.
Yeah,
at the end.
which and the reason I brought this up is just because I feel like they could have gone more in depth. I definitely think they could have because it's Xbox. They could make a lot of promises and even like shoot them down, but they were holding off because they said what they needed to. They said exactly what PlayStation said. Hey, we have the same stuff you have, but we have more. We're not talking about it yet. You know?
That was kind of my problem, though. Is like I was really hoping because in my mind, it's like if you were just gonna say the same things PlayStation did, why even say anything?
Either way, both of them are a lie.
You know what I mean?
Though, we already talked about this.
They're what? Sorry.
They're both
They're
a
both
lie.
a lie, yeah.
Like,
Oh,
they
yeah,
can't
the
do
8K stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know,
Well,
I mean, they
it has
can't.
Nobody has 8K
The only thing
TVs.
the biggest
8K
thing,
capabilities.
the biggest thing, like we've already said in the Xbox
Is SSD?
show, is the SSD. Like that's huge.
Which
But,
we-
like they're not
yeah.
going to do 8K. You can't do 8K yet.
Well, and we talked about
High end PCs with 2 GTI 1080s
can barely,
can't even run. 8K.
and nobody has 8K TVs yet.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
we're
and-
just barely 4K is just barely.
Well,
becoming
and you
cheap
think about
for
it
people
because
to buy.
they're making all these promises, which we've talked about before, is really scary for a price point, right? Because 8K and SSD, I'm looking at almost $1,000 for a console, which would be nuts.
It's
if
not-
they came
there's
out,
no
well,
way.
well, I know, but that's what I'm saying is because like with all these huge specs they're basically like, oh, we're giving you a high end PC and a console. Like they're saying they're giving promises like this
That's
is
what
going
they
to be
promised
huge.
with the Xbox One, though, too.
Right. And this is what I'm saying is like this is why I almost wish they almost didn't announce anything, but I know they couldn't because of what PlayStation had said.
Yeah,
If PlayStation
yeah.
didn't say anything, neither of them would
That's
have
the
said
thing
it.
is like I get why they
Yeah.
said what they did about Project Scarlet, but in my mind it's almost like I would have rather had them say nothing this E3 and save it all for next year when they can just blow it out and actually show us. Because as of right now, I'm left disappointed because I'm like, okay,
What?
you gave us all these promises, all these like big words and stuff like that, but you're not showing us anything. Like
Well,
I don't know. Like Hasten said, it's most of it's lies. Like we know as of right now you can't quite do that amount of power, and if you can, you got to show us.
Yeah.
Like,
but if
put-
you remember
put your
right, we
money where
were
your mouth is, you know?
joking pretty heavily when it was like doing the whole cinematics and it was showing something white and with like shades and we're like, are they going to show the console or the controller? And it did was
just
pan
the
out and say
logo.
the logo
And not even
or the name,
not even
just the name.
and not even the official name, just Project Scarlet.
Scarlet.
Like I was shocked we didn't
Maybe they
even get,
don't
like,
have
a
a name for it yet.
I bet they
I
don't.
doubt they don't. 'Cause
Because,
that's why it was Scorpio.
like, should we do Xbox 2? Should we do Xbox 720?
Yeah.
Should we do Xbox Infinite? Should we do Xbox? Like,
Xbox
Should we do
is
Xbox
in-
One again?
In terms of naming, Xbox is in the worst place right now. Because PlayStation, it's obvious. It's going to be PS5. And then it's like, Nintendo, they can do whatever they
They
want.
do whatever
You
they
know,
want.
Always
change-
They've
they
never
change
had a
it
number.
into-
They've never had a sequel console.
Yeah. And so,
besides
the
Wii
Wii
U,
U.
but
Yeah.
it wasn't even a sequel because it wasn't Wii 2. It was Wii U.
yeah. I mean,
Wii
yeah.
U.
But like,
stupid.
yeah,
It's the worst console.
The Wii U
that was horrible-
Switch.
That was a horrible name. Wii U was a horrible name. But
Horrible. Anyway,
I know.
The
I mean,
whole-
it had some good games, but like, yeah, well, the naming system was.
Well, I mean,
horrible.
overall, of course, games. But
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
like the whole marketing and everything. About
Oh
the
yeah,
console
of course, it was a
terrible.
mess. But like Xbox One now is in a horrible place because it's like you called your system Xbox One. What is?
Well, and it's
next?
dumb because they had
Xbox
good
2?
And
intentions.
the reason they did it was because
It's an
like,
all-in-one.
all-in-one platform. So
which because yeah,
if they're gonna focus on gaming, they can't like. What are you freaking like? What are you doing?
yeah, that's
Xbox 720 because it only runs in 720p.
Yeah, that would
That
that's
would have
true.
that happened.
That
like,
people would probably would have been assuming that like, oh, it's called 720, so 1120p. My prediction is Infinite. I think alongside Halo Infinite,
Infinite.
calling it Xbox Infinite, I think that would be really cool, especially with Xbox's whole mantra lately of like being. You know, you get this. You can play all your Xbox games on this one console,
Yeah.
and guess what? I bet you can play Scarlet games on the Xbox One still.
because it's
downgrade
infinite
it.
loop. Yeah,
You know, it's gonna be like this infinite thing. Like Xbox is very consumer friendly that way.
Yeah.
So that's my prediction. But what do you guys think it's gonna be
Well,
called?
something disappointing I want to bring up is the name Project Scarlet. We've known for a long time because we've been calling
Oh,
it
yeah.
Scarlet for months now.
Oh, we've known for like a year almost.
Yeah, which is weird to me because literally up until the day they announced Xbox One, we were like 720 all the way. We were like, absolutely, it's got to be 720.
Yeah.
Hasten even named his Xbox Live 720, Assassin 720 for that reason. Like, it's gonna be 720, and it's a little disappointing knowing like it wasn't a
they would have called
surprise.
this
even
one
the name.
1080, Xbox
The
1080.
Xbox 1080.
Xbox 1080.
They would have to call it Xbox 4K or something.
Xbox 8K. That'd be terrible.
And the next one's
Ah,
Xbox
dude.
like 2160.
I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid they're gonna call it something horrible.
You know what I just hope they call it? I hope they just call it Xbox.
I mean,
They just keep calling him Xbox.
there was a lot of people who predicted PlayStation 4 was just going to be called PlayStation. But my only thing against that and why a lot of people think that wouldn't stay is because, you know, for grandmas and stuff like that, they walk into the store, they see Xbox, they're like, oh, but he wants the new Xbox. Like, how do they differentiate what a new Xbox is versus the Xbox One?
the one that's at the
original
store
Xbox.
because stores only sell one.
Yeah, true, but grandmas are stupid.
But here's the thing: is like
in terms of
if a
game
kid
stuff.
said like I want the Xbox, they would go and they'd see Xbox One and Xbox, and they'd just choose the Xbox, right?
I mean, theoretically, but like I don't know if you're a grandma, you're at the store, you see Xbox or PlayStation 5. You know,
I feel like that's something that sucks for grandmas because, like, with Black Ops, you get, Grandma, I want Call of Duty, and they give them Black Ops 2. We were joking about this. We were playing Black Ops 2.
It's
And
Modern
kids are
Warfare.
like, oh wow, this is actually a better game than any of the recent Call of Duty.
Yeah, they're literally like playing it, and they're like, yeah, oh my gosh, this is so good. The graphics are a little bad though, and I'm playing on the 360. But like, yeah, so I don't know. I feel like that's.
And I know not all grandmas are stupid. I know.
Yeah, stupid grandmas, stop watching the show.
I'm just saying. I'm talking about your general consumer who watches and knows
yeah.
nothing about games, and they're like,
But it's not just grandmas; it's honestly just people. Like,
Yeah, a lot of people.
There's even people our age that would be like, Xbox.
yeah, who have no idea exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You idiots.
But I guess since we're already kind of talking about Xbox, obviously.
Yeah,
I think something that was a little underwhelming for me was they spent a lot of time talking about the Elite controller, which I think was a little weird for me because the Elite controller is great.
I felt like it was enough time. I
but
don't think it was.
I don't think it's something they needed to use at the E3 show. You know,
I think it was
Talk
a good
about
idea
at
to
this
talk
show.
about it there.
I think
because
so.
like,
Because this is the Electronics Expo. Like, that's what this thing
oh yeah,
is. You
but
know what I
like
mean?
I don't know because like this.
And this is now, like, the best controller on the
When I
market.
was like looking at like as far as like comparisons, right? It's not too different from the current one. There's more grip, and I know
They
like,
improved the grip. That's a big problem with the Elites, though, is the rubberized grip would come off.
yeah.
So that's why they improved the wraparound grip on it.
But like besides that, there's not much.
Tension sticks.
Yeah.
They have 3 option settings
like,
now.
that's
the
such,
trigger
like-
stops are shorter.
You know, like those are such like minimal changes.
not
Nothing
within the
huge.
controller though. When
Yeah.
you look at it, it's really not a minimal change.
Well, I just
I
think,
think I think they're big changes for the people that care about it, but for people that don't care,
yeah, because
doesn't
it's
seem
kind of like a
much.
complaint we had where when they announced Smash Bros. Ultimate, we loved it, but they talked so much about the options menu. They talked about
No, yeah, that
languages
was it. Was in the final direct.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's that's a good comparison because like with Smash Bros, like they at E3 they blew out all the stuff people cared about.
yeah,
Like,
and
here's
they're
all the
like-
characters and stuff. And then the final direct they did
Right
for
before the
Smash Bros,
game
right
came
before
out.
the game came out.
They're like-
They were literally they spent like 20 minutes focusing on what the options
lan-
menu did.
the-
It's like,
literally-
for me, I was like, whoa, this is way cool because I care about that stuff. But then for somebody who doesn't care about Smash Bros, they're probably like,
and you
what
can
the
even
frick?
say you
Oh, yeah,
love
even
everything,
me.
but even like that literally like 45-second to 50-second, almost a minute section where they're like showing the different languages. It's like hello,
Yeah.
hola,
Yeah, doing like the all the
Bienvenidos.
languages. Yeah, I was like, okay, it's like
Harehulu. And it's like, dude, move on. Like, you don't need to do
Yeah.
this. But like, I don't know. That's why I compare it to that because it's something that they could have. They didn't even talk xCloud. They had an entire show for it on their game floor. Watch the videos of people who reviewed it. It looks sick. They should have done what Bethesda did when they brought out Doom. Like, but they spent so little time talking about xCloud. They could have used the time they talked about the Elite controller instead.
People did videos though on Doom because I'm glad we're doing this a little bit later now that I'm thinking about it because people did videos on Doom like at Bethesda's conference and apparently it was running at like 24 frames a second.
Really?
Like it was running horribly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like they did like the controller movements like
This
the
was
thumbs
the
and then
was this the Orion thing Bethesda had, or what was this?
the streaming thing
Yeah,
when they
the
were playing on
streaming,
the phone with
Orion,
the controller.
yeah.
But they were like the controller finger would move and then the player would hang on for a second and move, and it was like.
And I will say, like, that is one thing that the reviewers I watched talking about xCloud said that it was running great, but the reason why is because it wasn't connected to Wi-Fi or any server. They had the phone, the phone and the controller itself plugged into like an outlet thing that was probably powering all of them. That's why they were saying because they were playing like I don't remember what it was, like a Halo demo or something.
I can't wait to try one of these services for the first time.
And they were saying it was running nutty. Like, it was like
And
1080p.
this is why-
It was like 40 frames per second. And they were like, this is nuts. Like, but of course, it wasn't hooked up to a server. It wasn't like Wi-Fi based. And so,
That's-
like, that was their biggest concern. Is they're like, okay, when this actually launches in supposedly October,
Well, that's the thing.
is
That's
this going
why.
to be
That's why the
gonna
end of
be big.
Xbox's conference was ultimately really disappointing.
a really disappointing?
Because there was so much potential, like with the xCloud stuff. Like all of us going into this were expecting cool news from xCloud, right?
Yeah.
Like I think most people were, and for it to just be Phil Spencer talking about it and like making promises,
no sort of
no showing it off, no saying
gonna
when
cost
it's going to come
something?
out.
Not even
Yeah,
like
it's gonna
not even like
cost money,
specs.
like no details.
Because even Google talked about like their specs.
It
like,
was
oh,
all-
it's 1080p up to 4K.
it was
and
all
like,
top
At
level
this
stuff.
much like megabits a
Yeah,
second.
right.
Yeah.
Like he literally didn't go into any
all
detail.
Phil Spencer said was like top level stuff. It was like it is the Xbox streaming platform.
As good as your Xbox
It's
can
called
get.
xCloud. We are Xbox.
Streaming from your
Streaming
Xbox.
phones, xCloud.
From any
Xbox.
phone on
Like,
your Xbox,
what are you even
Xbox
saying?
360,
Xbox.
Xbox
Yeah.
One, Project Scarlet,
Yeah.
Xbox Master Chief.
boom, we out, drops the mic.
Yeah.
Like, it blows up into smoke.
Yeah, like
what the frick?
here's
like,
more guys come out.
Yeah, like Forza car comes out,
Lego guys.
runs over him. Boom.
Yeah. Or like the car drives by and like Phil Spencer grabs the door wheel, it just like flies off. He like driving out the smoke while still does like No, but for real though, it was like, what the frick were you talking about?
Well, this
like,
is what I mean.
I love Phil Spencer to death, but
this was
there was no details for what xCloud is.
And this was really bad for them because like it almost felt like, to me, I don't know about you guys, it felt so rushed. His xCloud, he was like blah 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 blah. Okay, let's move on to Project Scarlet, right? This is why I feel like this is why I criticized the Elite controller, how much they talked about it. Of course, it wasn't like a lot, but it was enough that they could have used
only like a minute.
But they could have used that
instead
to go more in detail about xCloud, and they could have showed the Elite controller stuff on the game floor, which that's much more of like a thing that a lot of people, majority of people watching, can't afford and don't want an Elite controller. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guarantee you, almost 80% of the people who play Xbox.
But it will be a Christmas present this year. You know what I mean? Like the Elite controller will be a Christmas present this year, and then the system will be the.
They're usually pretty hot commodities too. I think.
Yeah.
In terms of
I mean, for the first
production
4 months of it, you couldn't even get the controller.
Yeah. And I mean, like, because for example, I harken back to like when they announced the Switch, the Nintendo Switch, they brought up the Pro controller, but that's it. They weren't like, and this is the best way to play. This is what you do. This is what they literally were just like, oh, here's a Pro controller too. That's what I feel like. That's something that they can talk about later, or on the game floor, or have people enjoy themselves. Something going into like even minute details and talking about it when you could talk about something so big like a streaming service.
Because they were sucking off the Joy-Cons. They're like, these are so good, and they're really.
They're the best controller. I mean, it breaks and you move the joystick.
I don't know though. Like Joy-Cons are pretty good.
Like, I love the Joy-Cons,
especially the ability to turn it into a controller.
They are too small.
They're pretty fragile.
You can break them like that.
Oh,
it's ridiculous.
They're pretty fragile.
Like,
I mean, the Switch we have right there.
Yeah.
The left Joy-Con, for some reason, literally won't even connect.
Yeah.
It like won't even connect. There's no way to charge it. And, like, it's ridiculous. But I don't know. That's like to an extent that like that's the problem with the hardware. Like I'm talking like they went into like detail. They're like, oh, like they could have very well just been like, let's move on to xCloud. Let's show somebody come out and play it. Let's show it on the screen. I think this is what you can do on any phone. Blow Google out of the water by saying, because our E3 predictions, we were going into depth. We're like, dude, Xbox has the perfect opportunity to destroy Google right now. Because Google came out and talked about all this kind of crap.
And the truth is they didn't.
Yeah.
Like, I think as of right now, from what we've heard, Google Stadia sounds more interesting.
It does, like, because they actually talked about it.
Yeah.
Like
I actually know what Google Stadia is. And like, I still think Google Stadia, I'm still cautiously optimistic about it, but like, ultimately, I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know anything about Xbox.
Well, and the fact that Phil Spencer said we're hoping for an October launch, like
that's so soon.
No way, and not even talking about it or showing anything. Like this is something that was such a huge criticism for me of the Xbox. If Xbox like would have gone more in depth, I would have said they would have had a really like almost perfect press conference. Yeah. But like it's something so big.
Well, that's where
that they're talking about.
Xbox's conference for me was at its strongest. Is the stuff with games and Game Pass, like Hasten was mentioning. Game Pass alone. I think they said like 36 of the games they were saying is coming to Xbox Game Pass
debuting. Oh my god!
A lot of them were when they did that montage though of like the indie games.
But even still, like the main big ones they talked about, the Xbox exclusive ones, literally like we were freaking out because we're like, is this Xbox Game Pass? Yes, it is. Like
like really, it's basically all those games they showed. If you look at it from like our perspective, if you have Game Pass and you subscribe like on a yearly level or whatever, those games are free.
Yeah,
it's essentially like boom, here is 36 free games coming at launch when they come out.
And not only did they announce the games that are launching, but new games being added, huge games like Metro, Borderlands Handsome Collection, and not just that, they announced the Ultimate Bundle, which is $5 more a month. That's nothing for all those games.
Game Pass Ultimate, if you don't have it, there's like a deal right now.
It's the best subscription.
If you have Xbox Live Gold for like 12 months, do the Game Pass Ultimate, like change your subscription, and then you'll have Game Pass and Gold for that.
For the same amount. It's nuts.
It's ridiculous.
And like
they're giving away Game Pass.
And even if you don't do that, like I know they're still selling it for $1 for the first couple months. And then it'll go on to the normal. Because like comparing to $10 a month for PlayStation Plus or even Xbox Gold, which are both $10 a month,
$5 a month.
paying $5. No,
Yeah, you buy $60 a month, divide it by 12.
Well, I mean, like, if you pay by month.
Yeah, if you're on the by the month.
Because I buy monthly.
$10.
I don't buy the cards.
You save money if you do the yearly.
Well, yeah. And so I buy by the month, right? So I'm paying $10 a month. I'm paying only $5 more, $15 a month. That's nothing. You know, like, that's nothing for all these games. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Really
that's on top of games with gold that you're getting too. You know, like it's such a huge service that I'm so glad they talked more about it. You know, and then we're also getting it for PC. And Ultimate comes with the PC Game Pass too, which we failed to realize. So if I bought a PC, I've got Xbox Game Pass on a PC. I already got so many games.
You have access to all
because you have it now for both of your consoles. Like, that's nuts, you know. And Gears 5 is launching on PC Game Pass, which is crazy. And so that's why I feel like this was such a huge success for Xbox. They could have gone more in detail about Scarlet and xCloud, which already we've talked about as a disappointment. But.
Yeah, I think Game Pass was the star of Xbox's show. Otherwise,
for me, it was the star of all of E3.
Yeah. It was.
I think
for you guys, obviously,
for us it was Nintendo.
Yeah. But like, everything else though, like, and really, like, there's a few games at Xbox's show that I was like, oh, that looks interesting, but there was nothing that blew my socks off. Nothing that I was like, holy crap, sign me up, day one, I'm playing that.
That did sell me on Cyberpunk, though. Like, I am sold on Cyberpunk.
Oh, yeah.
And they brought Keanu Reeves.
Because before I wasn't sold.
True.
Now I'm sold. I'm going to want to see all the trailers. I want to see gameplay.
Yeah, that's a great point. Cyberpunk looks awesome, but we already knew about Cyberpunk. Mm-hmm. I'm talking more along the lines of something that we had no idea about. Like, I can't even name to you a game that we had no idea about that was at Xbox's show.
Outer Wilds.
That surprised me. But
we'd heard about that.
Really? Yeah, I'd never heard about it.
Literally,
So
there was not a big surprise game.
Yeah.
Like,
Outer Wilds was already announced. I can't even think.
It's not called Outer Wilds. Outer Worlds, guys.
Outer Worlds.
Outer Wilds is the other one.
It's the indie game. Yeah, they're so similar in title.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there was not, and then a huge disappointment for me. We didn't get the Cuphead DLC.
Cuphead,
like,
yes.
What the frick? Where is that DLC?
Which was announced 2 years ago.
It was announced last year at E3.
Last year,
so
E3, and then talked about it at Game
Cuphead
Awards.
Came out 2 years ago.
And then we got
it's
even like a
what the
trailer
heck?
at Game Awards and everything. And
No, it was at E3.
but then we got more talk about it.
No, it was only at E3 last year. So it's been an entire year we haven't gotten any word of
Nothing.
it. So it's like, what the heck? It's DLC. Like, I know
That's
that game
crazy.
takes a lot of time because of the art style, but still, it's like...
They have to draw everything.
But announcing it so early, like, if they're gonna
just
announce,
just
I would
wait.
have rather had that announce it later,
Or
because
just,
then
like-
I wouldn't have like my hopes.
Or
of,
don't do DLC and just do Cuphead 2, you know?
Yeah, just make it a whole game. Maybe that's what they're doing.
Maybe. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of companies are doing that.
Which it did take them like 10 years to make Cuphead because of the art
Yeah,
style.
because of the art
But
style. But the thing is they have more resources now that they were successful with Cuphead was their first game.
Another thing
So,
they talked about,
now
which
that
was
they made
really
money.
cool, that they showed more gameplay of, was Jedi Fallen Order. They showed some really cool gameplay that actually got me really excited.
It was
Like,
mostly
they had, like,
cinematics
the
at
walkers
Xbox
going through, and it looks really cool. I mean, it got me more excited for it than I was. So
What I thought was cool, the coolest part of that trailer was when you climbed up the
AT-AT.
Yeah,
like,
in
that
the
was
swamp.
awesome.
That was cool.
And I reckon I compared it to
Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of people
Like,
actually
holy
doing that,
cow.
which is funny. But also, I think somebody mentioned that you see the inside of the AT-AT or the AT-AT, and it's like the first time you ever have seen the inside of one.
Oh, really?
Just kind of cool. But let's move on from Xbox. I think we got them pretty good.
Yeah.
So let's go back a little bit.
Oh,
Let's talk about
I'll bring up
EA.
something really tiny that got announced at Xbox, which was the Borderlands stuff. Because they announced at the end of the Borderlands 3 trailer, they announced that Handsome Collection's obviously coming to the Games Pass. But then we got the Borderlands 2 DLC, which is nuts, which was free. But
Borderlands 2 DLC.
Borderlands 2 DLC, that's what I meant, which was free.
That's what you
for
said. It's just funny to me.
for a 7-year-old game.
That has to be like the latest DLC for a game, right?
Oh, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
like
Skyrim.
but even Skyrim, like
It's
when
coming
did-
with DLC soon.
no,
that'd
like,
be funny.
yeah, but like, yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, besides maybe there's
they're like a surprise. Elder Scrolls 6 is just DLC for Skyrim.
yeah, so I'd be like,
It's just a giant expansion. I'd kill myself.
But like it was really good, and it wasn't so. To
R2.
give into detail, Borderlands has like these headhunter packs, which are like they're not full DLCs, but they're like pretty small. It wasn't even one of those. It was like one of the full expansion DLCs, which are usually like $20 for free, and it was really good. And it basically showed what happens between Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3. It was super cool for the hardcore fans. I mean, oh my gosh, like I beat it in the first day. Like I was
Did
like, yeah, we downloaded it after we recorded the episode, and I beat it that night.
So it's not very big.
No, it's huge. I literally was up till like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. So
nice. Well, let's talk about EA. They didn't really have a conference, but they had EA Play. For me, I think this was probably the worst thing.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean,
even though for Greg
Fallen Order was the best part. I mean, really, everything else I didn't care about that much. You know, I like Madden. I like Apex. You know, but I didn't care about any of the stuff they showed. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Kate. Yeah.
Madden just pissed me off. So
Anthem not even being present.
Not shown whatsoever.
There was an interview, I guess.
Right?
There was an interview. There was an interview, and it was the most depressing thing ever. Greg Miller was asking him questions, and this is what he said. Oh yeah, we're working on it. Oh, definitely. Like, oh, just wait. Like, we're working. We love our fans, and don't worry.
We love our fans that are still playing. The four of you.
And he brought up. He's like,
right
he's like, because Greg Miller's like, well, you guys haven't done anything, and the guy defended himself. He's like, oh well, we just released this cataclysmic event, and the players are really enjoying it right now. And Greg Miller was something like, well, I didn't even hear about it, or something like.
Literally, he just straight up called it like, I didn't hear.
And I looked it up. What they did is
called things out.
Literally, what they did for that event is they made the world darker, and then there's more enemies. Like literally, that's the.
They tried to make it look actually like what the original.
Yeah, if Anthem goes free to play, I'm gonna play it just because I want to see.
Oh yeah.
What the frick is happening?
And so
I'm not buying that.
And don't get me wrong.
If I see it for $5, I'm gonna throw it in the trash before I buy it.
See, really? That's where I actually disagree.
No, I'll probably actually buy it.
Yeah, if I saw it for
this game isn't garbage, but it's not good by any means. It is Destiny 1 when it came out. Exactly, like down to the T. Except the difference is
Destiny 1 was stable.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
You could run Destiny 1.
Well, and the difference go into an area.
The difference was
loading.
In 2 months of Destiny 1 being out, they already released their first expansion, which improved the game. Anthem has not done shiz since it's come out, like literally nothing. You know, so the fact that was not even present, and there was like a really crappy interview with a guy saying, "Oh yeah, it's coming." And Greg Miller was even saying like, "Well, when?" Mm-hmm. And he said, "Well, we don't know. We're working on it. We'll let you know." He's like, "That's nothing. If you can't even tell me when it's coming, I'm not gonna play your game. I'm sorry. Like it's not.
You own it, don't you?
I own it, and I even re-downloaded it and still haven't even touched it."
Yeah, Jedi Fallen Order was the only thing I really cared about during the conference. We got a new legend coming to Apex.
So we got Apex Apex Season 2
That's about it. Season 2 talk.
And you know
it doesn't move the needle for me, really.
So here's what they did. They had a huge trailer, and they're like, oh, you got a new hero and one new gun. For our 3-month, 4-month period of the season.
It's crazy, dude.
So from Apex...
Do they really last 3 months?
No,
4 months?
They are the life cycle of 2 Fortnite seasons.
Wow.
Because seasons 7 and 8 have come out of seasons 8 and 9 have come out.
They should just hand off the development for that game to another developer other than Respawn, because Respawn is clearly busy.
Yeah,
they're just too busy, and I'm sure they're working on another game too.
Yeah. I mean, Titanfall 3.
Well, I'm sure they have. I'm sure they already have handed it off to somebody, but somebody that doesn't care about it, like. Because I was making a joke.
EA probably just doesn't care.
I was making a joke. Something that
we got plenty of money at launch.
Something that was launched that was super.
It's gosh dang sports games and all their microtransactions. Yeah, man, that's what gets them.
It's EA.
And
every year pisses
me
off.
They come out and get money.
Yeah. So
that's all they need, really. Like EA should just rebrand to only EA Sports.
EA Sports.
And
just
be like, hand off everything else.
Yeah, sell off all your
other assets. You obviously can't handle it. Give it.
Just make your money. Become a casino, like Hasten said.
Yeah. But like
EA Casino,
so something
now
that was
launching in Utah.
Something that was announced at E3 that everyone's super hyped for is they hinted at a surprise update coming to Apex, right? And I told you guys about this, and they even tweeted out, they're like, "Who's ready for update? You know, we got some surprises, everything for everybody." Guess what? They released dragons to the game, but they're not really dragons. They're these tiny birds that carry one gun, a box of loot that is crap. You can't fly on them. You shoot them down, and they give you a gun. That is their big update that they're like, we added something to Apex in Season 1, but it's dragons that don't do anything. That are already in the game, by the way.
Dragons.
They were already in the game. They were those things that fly around, but this time you can shoot them down and get a gun. Yeah. Like, congrats, you know? And, like, it's just so disappointing to see a game with such amazing potential. We talked about it. We loved this game when it came out. It was awesome. Everyone was like, it's the Fortnite killer, which was never true. It was the Fortnite competitor. It could have been up there, like, fighting with Fortnite players.
If they updated it could have.
Because, like, don't get me wrong. The pros, the only reason they really played it is because a lot of the reason they were paid to. They were promoted to. And it could have very well divided the community, right? There would have been people defending each game and playing each game, but it wouldn't have killed Fortnite. No, by any means, because Fortnite's too big at this point. You got all the kids playing it, obviously. But like Apex had such amazing potential to just get squandered by EA or whoever is taking control of it now. You know.
Yeah, moving on from that, that was basically it we had from EA. There was nothing else that
Sims.
I cared. They had Sims,
Sims,
Madden,
Battlefield. Had something I don't even know what it was.
the Droidicas. They added like Droidicas.
Battlefield, not
Battlefield.
Battlefield.
Battlefront. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Battlefield.
Yeah,
I don't know.
no idea.
If they did.
I didn't even stick around to watch the full thing. The highlights for me were Jedi Fallen Order and then hearing Greg Miller yell.
And then Battlefront.
That was it. Like otherwise, I didn't care about
Battlefront
anything else.
got like an update with like Droidicas or something. So.
But then we had Bethesda Sunday night. Bethesda's was whatever for me. It was okay.
It was about as good as Bethesda's last conference for me.
Yeah,
Really?
it was better than
Because last conference they had Fallout 76.
Well, what I mean is like because that was cool though because they didn't it hadn't come out yet so.
Yeah, no, it was cool then. So that's what I'm saying.
But
Like this conference didn't have any of that.
But
big.
what I mean
Doom-
is like. But last conference had way more cringier moments. For me.
The thing I
Like-
was super excited about from this that is the only thing I really care about was Ghostwire Tokyo because it's the Tango developers. Other than that,
When they didn't have their stupid circular freaking conference room.
Yeah, it was with Andrew WK up there, like blasting the hardcore music, and all the people in the crowd like this, like
Literally.
this is not the crowd for that.
yeah, no,
No, I'm sorry. Yeah.
It was so
It was like
sad.
screamo too.
Dude, Andrew WK too he goes hard, so he was up there like, "Are you ready to die?" And everyone in the audience is just like,
And there was like one guy like,
it was so funny.
and he's the
I
guy that
kinda
plays the
wish-
assassins on Skyrim. He's
Honestly,
like,
I kind of wish that it was
Nuts like that.
I wish it was like that just
for the
meme,
embarrassment.
for the
Yeah,
meme.
for the meme. Yeah.
Like, and have you guys seen this stuff of somebody who compiled a video of the crowd, the guy up front or the few guys up front?
have, yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude! Bethesda must have paid these guys or something to be like the rally men because these guys are after every announcement, a guy's like. Fallout 76. Yeah! Whoa! Like, oh, wait, these guys are freaking out on
That's
everything.
what, they did that at this conference too, though.
Wait, are you talking
Every
last
single
conference or
time
this
was like,
conference?
Yeah, and this was at Bethesda's.
Last conference or this one?
This one.
No, yeah, this one.
You know what they
Oh
do?
my
though,
gosh.
right?
What?
They have developers. They put developers up front.
in the crowd or something.
The
Well,
front,
in
the
the
front
crowd,
of the
there's
crowd
all-
is all developers.
But just some of the guys in this
Oh
crowd,
my
like,
gosh, going
I have
nuts.
to imagine they got paid off or something because they're going nuts over nothing.
No, literally.
announcements.
So they
Like,
Todd
they're
Howard
like,
was like,
"Welcome."
now the creators of Fallout 76, and they walk out and everyone's cheering like normal. But then one guy's like, so what we did is yes, that's right, NPCs in Fallout 76, and one guy's like, yeah, yes, finally. And the guy's like, yeah, I see you.
It was so crazy. Like they literally bring out somebody who doesn't have a name to them, like a person that isn't Todd Howard, like some guy that's just like. Coming
Yeah, we
out
did
to-
it. Battle Royale.
Yeah,
But not to be rude, doesn't know how to interact with other people, other human beings. He was like really awkward. And he's like, that's right, NPCs in Fallout 76.
But dude, these guys are going nuts over everything they're saying. Like, and honestly, most of the announcements at Bethesda's conference were pretty nothing announcements. They were kind of just like,
Besides
okay,
the Chinese one.
oh yeah,
Haywire.
Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop was the two big
Deathloop.
new IPs that were like people were actually excited about. But once again,
Deathloop
just
made by the
cinematics.
people who made Dishonored.
Dishonored,
And then-
Arcane.
Yeah.
But once again, no gameplay from like anything. In fact, there was at one moment where I fell asleep during the conference. I
Did
swear.
you really?
Not really, but like
Oh,
I felt like
I was there with you. And
yeah,
I was like, huh.
it was the freaking Elder Scrolls Online one where it was just the
Oh my
with
gosh.
the cat person, the cat girl, and like what the like. Don't get me wrong, that is an awesome CGI cinematic. Like they should just make
But
an
that's
Elder
not
Scrolls
what
movie
your
like that.
game looks
But
like.
that's not what
Not
the game
at
looks like.
all.
And
You
that's
liars.
Not gameplay. It's like it's boring. I'm sorry, nobody cares.
And that's not what
unless-
happens in the game either. That cool dragon fight. It's literally there's a dragon and everyone's like.
Unless
Yeah.
it's
It's like a bow. Everyone's a bowman. 'cause
There's
it's the strongest.
literally like 80 players around this one dragon. Like
Everyone's just an archer because the archers in Elder Scrolls just dominate everything.
That's the thing is like unless you're a hardcore Elder Scrolls Online fan, nobody cared about that. Like nobody. I'm sorry, everyone was watching it just like.
well, look,
What-
if
what is
you're a
happening?
hardcore
This
Elder
is
Scrolls
cool
fan at this
looking,
point,
but-
Elder Scrolls Online fan, you're gonna like anything they announce. They could
Yeah, of
announce.
course.
They could announce. Oh, we added a new sword. Oh, you know, like
Yeah, exactly.
anything is huge news. It's like Destiny. anything Destiny announces, everybody's like, yeah, like
Yeah, if you're a hardcore fan of it, you're gonna
because
like
it's
it.
such an old game at this point. It's like you're not expected.
I felt like
Elsewhere's
so much,
coming out. It's like
Bethesda and Ubisoft both. I felt like so much of their conference was, here's this game from 2 years ago with a new update. Yay.
yeah,
Like,
Rainbow
so
Six
much of
Siege is getting a new siege.
Ubisoft
For
is
Honor.
huge with ongoing games.
Oh my gosh.
All their like a lot of their games are ongoing games.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they even announced like Assassin's Creed DLC or something.
No, it wasn't Assassin's Creed.
No, Assassin's
There wasn't
Creed
anything
Odyssey.
Assassin's Creed related.
The only Assassin's Creed...
I'm not talking about on their show, like even just normally, like they announced like.
Oh
more
yeah,
Assassin's
you're
Creed
right.
Odyssey
It was
DLC.
for Odyssey. Yeah,
Yeah.
they announced the creative mode,
The
but it
creative
wasn't
mode,
even
yeah.
at the conference.
Yeah.
That was literally like
That's what I'm saying.
tweet
It's
they
like,
put out.
and it's I don't know, like, yeah. There's a point where it depends on the game. You gotta just let it go.
I think
like,
it was in the preview.
especially if you're having sequels coming out so quickly. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, Bethesda's for me. It was kind of whatever. Do you guys have any closing thoughts on Bethesda's? Like,
Well, they talked about their Orion streaming service, which was
yeah, we've
kind
kind
of
of
cool.
mentioned all that.
They showed like Doom and stuff.
Doom actually looks kind of.
we got
cool.
Doom Eternal.
Doom does look cool.
I just don't know if I'm gonna buy it day one or if I'm ever going to play it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's one of those games I'm gonna actually get around to.
Yeah.
Even though I want to, I don't think it is.
like
Yeah,
if it was
I-
on Game Pass.
Doom
I'd
Eternal
for sure
does
play it.
look really sick. It does look really cool.
It looks awesome.
Especially if it comes to Switch, I'll get it. Which I don't know if they said.
It is.
Yeah.
It's coming day and date.
And then Wolfenstein, the
Youngblood.
Youngblood. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
looks
That
really
comes out in
cool.
a couple weeks.
That looks really cool.
yeah.
Um,
Don't get me wrong. Like Bethesda had some cool looking games. I think they game wise they had things that I was more interested in than actually at Xbox. Surprisingly.
yeah.
But like. Ultimately, it was just meh because it was all CGI mostly. Besides Doom, like
We got a ton of gameplay.
we got a
for
ton
Doom.
of like. Doom
We
was
kind
the
of knew
highlight
going
of it.
in though that like Doom was gonna be the thing.
Oh yeah.
We all had hoped like, hey, maybe we'll see some Starfield or Elder Scrolls. But
Yeah.
we didn't.
Starfield, especially.
We got one mention of it.
of Starfield.
Of
I don't.
Starfield.
Did he
and Elder
mention
Scrolls 6.
Starfield?
They
Yeah.
mentioned they're like,
Todd
we are
Howard
still
did.
working on Elder Scrolls and Starfield, and on to our next stuff.
Yeah, and now Fallout 76, your favorite game.
And
Which
now
they
the game that we're
talked
working
a lot.
on that's stopping us from working on
and
this.
you guys
Yeah.
forgot to mention probably the biggest thing in the entire conference, which was got Fallout Battle Royale,
Yeah.
which is nuts. And
It was so funny because we're watching it happen, and I was like,
Somebody made a joke.
I jokingly was just like,
Fallout Battle Royale.
Fallout Battle Royale. And next thing you know,
No,
they're
I was
like,
straight up serious. As soon as I seen like, I can't remember what I seen at the beginning.
no, because he mentioned it before even they started
Yeah,
playing
it was
the trailer.
it was literally like as
As
it
Todd
started-
Howard had
I
come out
just
and was
joking
talking
'cause
about Fallout
He's like, we have a
76.
huge update to Fallout 76.
And Connor was like,
jokingly
"Oh, it's Battle
It's
Royale."
gonna be a Battle Royale mode. But I was totally.
And I think
joking.
me and you were
And
both
then
like,
you,
Fallout-
during the trailer though, were like, wait, I think it actually is.
Yeah, I seen something and I was like, that's Battle Royale.
Well, you saw it because
It's Battle Royale.
They
Yeah.
were all in the.
And I was like, no
okay,
way,
yeah.
what?
So what happened was in the trailer, they were all in the vault, and it said, "Get the loot." And then Hasten's like, "It's a battle royale." No, Connor, it actually is a battle royale because it
Yeah.
said, "Get the loot." And then it was.
and you guys are like, no.
We were like, "No
we're
way!"
all like exercising the thing. I'm like, huh. Okay, maybe not.
Yeah.
And then it's like shows something else. I'm like, it's a freaking battle
Well,
royale.
you knew as soon as they showed the Ring of Fire. Come
Yeah.
on, it's just
But
like,
yeah,
oh my
he said
gosh.
he's like, and now you got to run from the storm. Or
like
the
fire
firestorm.
storm,
it was the Ring of
run,
Fire.
And everyone's like,
and
"No."
then it's like eliminate everyone. It's like, oh, yep. it's
Which,
Battle
oh my
Royale.
gosh, like I've heard so
If,
many
yeah,
mixed
we're
reviews
making a
about it.
battle
Like
royale.
I heard it was okay.
No, the biggest complaint is that there's enemies, right? Actual in-game enemies, and they destroy people because all they didn't make it as like a specific world. It's the same world as Fallout 76. So there was a guy who was playing, and a freaking Deathclaw is chasing him, and he's in top 2, and there's a Deathclaw like freaking killing him, and he's
So
like,
yeah, the guy just
"What
needs
am
to
I
sit
supposed
back,
to
just
do?"
like,
And somebody pointed out, they're like, it is ridiculous that you can still launch nukes in the freaking battle royale. He said like him and like they were like in like the battle royale mode, and they were like launching a nuke on like 16 players, and it killed like all of them. And like, how is this possible in a battle royale? Like, so there's of course it was just early access, but there's a lot of stuff they need to work on for this to be worth it. I think.
Yeah.
I definitely want to try it though. It looks sick.
I mean, I wish we would have tried it during the free week because now I'm not going to try it.
I tried the base game and I was just like, this is
You do
boring.
not like you had to have Fallout 76 to play the free trial.
No, you didn't. No, the free trial was a free
It
trial.
wasn't
It
a
was
free trial to play without Fallout 76.
No, it was. They made it free.
because I
Jason
tried.
just did.
No, I tried. No, he did.
I played base Fallout 76. I didn't play
Because
the actual game.
I tried with
Wait, I'm so
because I
confused.
own
What?
Fallout 76 but on disc, and I hadn't had it downloaded. So what I tried to do is just try the battle royale, and it's like, you do not own this game. I'm like, so I put in the
Are we
disc
sure
to re-download
Because the guy even came
100%.
out was like
a
you
free
try-
weekend for
free-
Fallout
yeah.
76 owners.
Yeah.
That's what it said. for Fallout 76 owners.
No, because the Battle Royale's free for Fallout 76 owners.
Yeah, that's what
So
he
why
said.
would they do a free
He
weekend?
said a free weekend for Fallout Winter, something Winter, for Fallout 76 owners. 100%.
I don't think so.
Connor, because I tried to play it.
Because I'm almost
tried
positive.
to.
I swear he was like,
Connor,
for a week.
I
you can
tried
play.
to do it. I physically tried to do it. I
don't
clicked
know.
on the Fallout Winter, and it said...
It doesn't
like,
make sense to me, though.
And then I put in the disc and everything, and it was going to make me re-download the game.
But here's the thing. The Battle Royale is free for the Fallout 76 players, right?
Well, for the people who own Fallout 76.
I know. So what's the free weekend?
Well, because it was an early access free weekend.
I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, who does? It doesn't matter.
Anyway.
Ubisoft. For me, the worst conference.
yeah.
Besides Watch Dogs Legion.
Oh, real quick, something we forgot to mention was Xbox One announced this game called Crossfire, which was the most basic freaking military shooter.
That looks horrible.
Just with some
I
cinematics.
was like,
You guys aren't going to buy it?
So it's apparently huge in the Asian market.
Of
oh
course.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's just crazy to me because it's like I was watching it and I'm like, did they just literally take an old Call of Duty trailer, mesh
They're
it
just
with
like-
a Ghost Recon trailer, and just poop it out?
Shiz it out. It's
what
like,
the-
shooter!
like,
Yeah, for
my
real.
gosh, that was rough to watch. I feel like
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft, Watch Dogs Legion. What do you guys think? Plays
I-
any NPC?
If it's true, which I don't think it is true.
Well, no, I think it is, but it's just going to be like randomly generated, like it is. Like, oh, anybody, but it's like 90 grandmas, 90 fat black guys, 90 like skinny white guys. You know, like it says any NPC, but all the NPCs in Watch Dogs already are randomly generated. You never get the same.
But they
NPCs
say
in
that they have their own unique storylines.
That's
That's the thing.
impossible.
So I don't understand how this
Okay.
is
Oh
possible.
no. So this is possible.
If it is true, I want it.
Yeah.
Like it seems cool. I don't know if I'm gonna get it launch day, but I do want to play it.
No, so this is possible. What they'll probably have is just like they already have set sections that can happen. They're like, oh, if you're a grandma, you get this thing that will happen, but it won't happen at the same time as this. Like, I think
But it's
pretty
open world,
possible.
and it says you can switch
Yeah.
to
Well,
any
and that's what I
person
mean. It's
anytime.
pretty possible, but if you're like, oh, I'm gonna recruit this grandma, right? And then like a couple months later, you find another grandma and you couldn't do her storyline. It'll be around the same storyline, but in different. Like we won't do it in the same time. Like
So all the grandmas in the world are assassins.
right.
Yeah,
If you
no,
recruit them.
they couldn't do that. Like, I don't know. I
almost
don't
guarantee
believe that it's going to be you can play as it. Like, with their own unique story.
It's like if you were playing Grand Theft Auto and you can just like
Turn
grab
it-
any.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it's gonna be randomly generated. It's gonna be technically unique, but not really.
That was basically all I cared about during this entire conference. Right at the end, they showed Gods and Monsters.
Didn't they show Ghost Recon?
Yeah,
That
but I
looked
don't.
kind
Pretty
of cool
heavily,
to me.
yeah.
It looked kind of cool to me. Like I said in the thing, I was like John Bernthal seems like I like.
I
him.
love John
So,
Bernthal.
They brought out
yeah.
a doggy. They brought out
Dog-
John
there was a good
Bernthal's
dog.
dogs.
There was a good doge up there. Gods and Monsters they showed right at the end. That was the only other thing that piqued my interest a little because it looked Breath of the Wild-esque, and a lot of people were making that comparison. Other than that,
What's it
this
coming
was-
to? Everything.
I don't know. I don't even think they said. It's still a ways off, I think.
It's next year.
Um,
It's available for
2020.
pre-order on Xbox. So I
Is it
know it's on
really?
Xbox.
It's on Xbox? Okay. I hope it's on Switch, but I don't know.
I don't know what it is. I just seen it like, hey, pre-order on Xbox. So which I was
Yeah.
kind of surprised. I was like, huh, that seems
Yeah,
kind
it
of far
seems
away.
like yeah. Other than that, though, it was a lot of, like I was saying earlier, updates to games. Update to For Honor, we got update to Ghost Recon, right? Or Rainbow Six,
Wildland-
something
no,
like that.
Rainbow Six.
Rainbow Six, yeah.
Rainbow Six. No, Division 2.
Division 2, yeah. They all blend together to me. This is
they're all the
there's
same
so
thing.
many. There's an announcement for like a zombie type Tom Clancy game, which was interesting.
The Tom
Oh,
Clancy.
Dying Light. Dying Light 2?
No, that was at,
no. This is
Xbox.
this was something separate. It was
Tom
like,
Clancy's Elite Squad.
It was called
It's for
Tom
mobile.
Clancy Extraction.
Oh, I
And
don't care
it was-
about mobile
it
games.
was- this isn't
I'm
mobile.
So done.
This isn't mobile. This was, remember, it was like a Tom Clancy. It was called Tom Clancy Extraction. I know-
Elite Squad.
No, it's not that one. You're looking at something else. And it's like 3-player. Once again, another 3-player thing.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Trying to
this.
escape like
Yeah,
zombies
yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that. They said it's like the same Rainbow Six engine or something. What?
Tom Clancy?
Yeah, it's a Tom Clancy game. It's in the Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought you were talking about Tom Clancy. Like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, because it's Tom Clancy's The Division, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Tom Clancy's
Tom
Ghost
Clancy's
Recon.
Splinter Cell.
Yeah, Tom Clancy's Assassin's Creed. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, like half their properties are related to Tom Clancy somehow. But
Square Enix is next.
yeah, Square Enix was next. They had
Final Fantasy.
tons of Final
I was
Fantasy.
so excited for Final Fantasy, and then I realized it's episodic.
Yeah.
Like, I was so pumped. I was so excited for this just to be a full game I could buy and play.
Which I've heard a lot of people saying that this is going to be extremely meaty, though. So we'll see how it is. And going off of like Final Fantasy RPGs, from what I do know of them, they're like insanely long. We're talking like hundreds of hours in these games. So if it is episodic and it's only the first half, that's still going to be 50 plus hours.
But so does that mean the first half's going to come out this year, and then 2 years from now the second half?
Probably, which
Holy
sucks.
frick.
Yeah. I mean, there's no confirmation, but that's what I'd imagine.
It is just a remake.
You say that though, but it's not just a remake.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
what I'm saying is
built
like,
from the ground
but that's
up.
what I'm saying is it's not a brand new game.
No, of course not.
Basically.
Because like everybody's like hyping it up like, oh, it's still a remake.
No,
I
because the
disagree
last
with
one
you
was
because-
turn-based. Like, it was a turn-based, like,
Yeah,
RTS.
But look,
gameplay is different.
it's like cool because like it's like when they announced like
The last one was, like, Age of Empires.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. What
remake.
if Nintendo was like Mario 64 remake, ground up, building it for the Switch? People would go nuts.
Well, yeah, but
Are
it
you
would
kidding
still
me?
be the same game.
No, because
This isn't the
like
same
if it's
game.
built modern. It's built for modern day consoles. Like, go watch gameplay of Final Fantasy VII on the original PS1. It looks totally different gameplay.
Well, of course,
this.
like look,
It's like if you were playing Age of Empires, and then you started playing Skyrim.
well, I do know. Yeah, it's not turn-based anymore. It's not a turn-based RPG.
No, it's
the
an action
remake.
adventure.
Yeah, but in combat, is it still turn-based?
No.
It's
The
not.
combat-
It's
thir-
action adventure.
Watch the gameplay for it. It looks
Final
freaking
Fantasy VII
sick.
remake because there's
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII remake and then Final Fantasy VIII remastered.
No, it's Final
Seven.
Fantasy VII remake. They literally announced 50 Final Fantasy projects
Yeah, I
at
don't
Square
know.
Enix's conference. Like, it's insane.
But the Final Fantasy VII, the one that they opened with for about 15
the big
minutes.
one, the one that everyone actually
Yeah.
cares about.
That one is a complete remake.
Uh-huh.
So
And it looks sick. Like, I'm with you where I didn't care too much about it. I've never been a huge Final Fantasy person.
Me neither.
But
I've
that-
always kind of wanted to try it.
yeah, same. And judging off that trailer, I was with you. Like, it looks.
Oh yeah,
dope.
you're right. It looks like the kind of combat that's in like Monster Hunter World. You got like strong attacks, big attacks, and you're like hitting a big
Yeah.
enemy. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Like that's way different than like the other Final Fantasies, which I think is cool.
But it
But
totally
like I said, like
sold me on it.
story wise though, it's still going to be the same as Final Fantasy VII.
Well, true. But do you know the story of Final Fantasy?
Well, no, of course, but I'm saying like
That's
as
the
far
thing.
as like Final Fantasy fans.
Well, yeah,
They're
but
not
they
getting a
care just
new
as
game.
much. Because, like I said, if they announced a Mario 64 remaster or remake, I would be just as ecstatic for it, even though I know I know every level in that game. It's not going to matter to me.
But I don't know. I
it's a
feel
big
like
deal.
at this point, why not just make a new one?
Well, they did.
with
Final
this
Fantasy,
same-
They
Final
did. Final Fantasy 15
came out 2 years
It's
ago.
like, and then they're
Like
going to make
they-
Final Fantasy 16.
They could have done this cool engine and make it Final Fantasy.
But they
16.
are. They like Final Fantasy 15 was like basically this engine. Came out a couple years
You
ago.
just
was
didn't
it
get to-
still
But
turn-based?
it's not these characters. That's the thing. You don't get to play as Cloud.
Yeah.
But was it
it's new
turn-based?
characters.
Was Final Fantasy 15 turn-based?
I have no idea. But going forward, I imagine they're going to do stuff like this. And this is just there for the fans. This is like a big deal for a lot of
Yeah.
people. This would be like for you if they announced Banjo-Kazooie remake from the
Oh, yeah,
ground up
that's
on Xbox. Like, built for
Switch.
modern day systems. Like, that would be a huge deal. And then it brings in all the people like us who never played it.
Yep.
I never cared about Final Fantasy.
But
This
apparently
is
it's the
making me
best
interested.
Final Fantasy, first of all.
Yeah.
And, like, they're making it a game that I would actually want to play. Because I don't want to play turn-based.
Yeah. And I just don't want to play. I wouldn't want to go back and play the original.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
I like turn-based, but yeah, I'd like to have it remade, if anything, if I ever play.
I'm not against turn-based either, but this is more
One of my
in
favorite
line
games
with
of all
what I
time is
like.
Paper Mario: Thousand Year Door, which is turn-based.
Yeah, that it got me super excited for that game. I wouldn't have cared normally, but I'm looking forward to it now. I'm upset that it's episodic as well. But then we got tons of other Final Fantasy news. Like, I swear half this conference was just Final Fantasy.
Basically,
stuff.
we're just skipping to the next one.
Yeah,
next
we'll
big
get to
thing that we
the
care about.
Avengers,
Yeah.
which was at the end. If you care about other Final Fantasy news, sorry, we don't know anything about it. So, Avengers, what'd you think? We finally got our reveal for it.
I am one of few that have no doubts about this game, that I'm going to want this game and I'm going to love this game.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, I think this game's going to fall apart. It's going to be like Anthem. Like, it's going to just to fall apart. You know what I
I'm
mean?
shocked at how split this game is. Like when we were watching it, when I was watching it live, you know, I was like, this is looking cool. Like I was super pumped on it and excited. And I was shocked to see so many people be like
hating it.
I did not like that at all. And so like it honestly surprised me.
The reason why it's as sucky as it sounds, I actually am on your guys' boat, which is where, cause usually I'm like, with these type of games, I'm more devil's advocate, kind of like how I was with Spider-Man. I think it's because of the mission they showed. It had too many of the quick time, right?
Quick time events.
So people were like, they were kind of scared. They're like, is this going to be like can you actually play this game, or will it be quick time?
Of course you're going to be able to play this game.
What I mean,
that's ridiculous.
What I mean is like, you're the movement. You're not like just watching a show and then clicking a button every once in a while.
If they did that, this would be the biggest disaster
no,
of any game.
But you could say like, because that's how like Walking Dead is, or like Tales from the Borderlands.
But that's
They're just
Telltale
like a click.
games. Those are
That's
Telltale
what they
games.
said, though.
But like that's what I'm saying is like,
this is a 4-player action adventure.
But people are worried that it might
single-player
be
campaign.
kind of like that, right? Where you're kind of just more like quick time, or it's not so much like open world.
I don't know if that's necessarily people's concern. I think a lot of people's concern is just one of the biggest concerns I've seen is gameplay for one, and second of all, that the Avengers, it's hard for them to separate.
I
the
never
look of the
understood
Avengers
that
with the MCU.
because with Spider-Man last year, there wasn't a single complaint.
Yeah,
Like there was, I didn't
I'm
see
with you.
anyone that was just like, "This Spider-Man," you know. Like,
Not my
I didn't-
Spider-Man.
This isn't Tom Holland or Maguire.
Because it's
Yeah.
a PlayStation exclusive game. You can't rat on a PlayStation exclusive game. Don't get me wrong. Oh, you can never say anything about
You're
it.
such a hater, dude.
Name a
You
PlayStation
can't because
exclusive.
that was two of the best games last year.
But
Yeah.
name a PlayStation exclusive game that they've ever ratted on. Uncharted 4, Last of Us.
It's hard because they're such great
yeah,
games.
that's the problem.
Spider-Man.
10 out
They
of
really
10s.
are great games.
What I'm
They're
saying
10 out of
is, people
10s.
have these complaints about this Marvel.
These are games
I know.
that are like
But what I'm saying is, people are complaining.
games of
Tanner,
this generation.
Avengers is on PlayStation
I know,
4.
but people are complaining that this Avengers game, you can't separate the characters. Why couldn't you separate Spider-Man?
I did.
Why were they
talking
able to?
about?
But that's what I'm saying. People
That's the thing
because you
everyone
just said
did.
people are worried that they can't separate these Avengers from the MCU.
Oh, no, yeah, certain people. That's the thing.
But that's what I
Like,
mean. Why couldn't they
I
do
don't
that with
think-
Spider-Man?
They did though. That's what we're saying. Everyone did with Spider-Man, but they're not with the
Yeah,
Avengers.
but
That's why we're
can't-
surprised.
I don't
I know.
know.
That's,
That's
why
why we're like,
Because
what the heck? Why
the
is
reason
this?
why is because they couldn't say mean things.
No,
about the
no, you
Spider-Man
want to know?
game.
No, here's the answer, Tanner. The reason why is because the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man is probably the best Spider-Man I've ever seen.
Oh, well, easy.
Like, I think his incarnation of that Peter Parker.
Oh, it's the best Spider-Man game.
Well, I'm talking about the character. I'm not even talking about the game. I love the game. But, like, that version of Peter Parker, I think I like him more than Tom Holland's Peter Parker. You know, and
Yeah.
he's good, but, like, I love that character. They did so good with that Spider-Man character. I think that's why people really like that one.
I mean, he had funny quips throughout the
No,
entire
but what I'm
game.
saying is they liked it before the game even came out. Like with the
I
trailers.
don't know.
and shit.
I think you'd be
I
surprised.
was the one. I was
I
like one of the
remember a lot
only
of
ones that
people-
was like, "Oh, it's gonna suck."
I mentioned this when me and Hasten did a Square Enix recap, I think, but I think you'd be surprised. A lot of people, when they saw the first gameplay for Spider-Man, were like, I don't know, it's looking kind of quick-timey. Like, they had the same concerns about Avengers.
Because the first mission that they showed
Oh, yeah.
was the... Oh my gosh, this is a perfect example. The first mission they ever showed was when he was swinging across the
Yep.
Bridge and saving that helicopter.
There's
remember?
like Vulture.
Yeah, there's
that whole
it's,
scene is quick time.
Mr. Negative.
because
is in
there's
it, yeah.
Vulture.
That whole
and-
scene is quick time, right?
Yeah, because he's like
But
blanching onto them. And
nothing else in this game is quick time.
Uh-huh.
That's just that one scene.
there's only like certain cutscenes with quick time.
And see, that's why I was defending this Avengers game, right? Because I've obviously heard great things about Spider-Man. I can't rat on the Spider-Man game because it's obviously amazing. This is why I feel like this Avengers game is just getting a bad rap because they chose the wrong mission to show. Even though in their mind they're like,
disagree.
this is the coolest looking one, but it's the most quick-timey one. You know
I
what
think
I'm saying?
people are being
They have
too
the same
critical.
problem as the Spider-Man one.
I think they're being too critical because they picked... This wasn't a gameplay. They weren't trying to show gameplay here. You know what I mean, they did. They showed about 22 seconds of gameplay where they mapped
We
it out.
assume,
That's
too,
what
that's the
IGN
thing.
said. IGN
Yeah.
came out and they're like, we have seen the demo. That is about 22 seconds of gameplay there.
yeah.
So, like, I forgot where I was going with this whole point, but, yeah.
Yeah,
But that's what I mean. Like people are being too critical, just like they were with the Spider-Man
think-
one. That's why I think it's getting a bad rap. Is because it's
my
showing
biggest
a quick time.
Like watching the Avengers reveal, I was really pumped
that's
on
right.
it. I think we both.
This
were.
was a gameplay. This was a... Sorry, not
It was
gameplay. This was a
cinematic
cinematic stuff that they were trying to show story. Hey, this is going to have a good story.
Yeah, which
what I
is
mean?
another one of those things where that's where I was let down. Is like they showed gameplay to people behind closed doors. Why not show it to the public? Like, I hate when developers do this, because Cyberpunk, I think, did the same thing last year, where they showed gameplay, and they did it this year. They showed gameplay behind closed doors, but aren't releasing it to the public, and it's like, why? Like, what? I don't understand that, because the public are the people that are actually going to be buying this game, right?
I mean, it might just be critics, you know what I mean? Like, that's not what I wanted, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, all these people, there's so many people online that, like, you go to, like, I'm going to bring up Angry Joe again, but, like, you go to him, he hates this game, but maybe, like, I don't know, some other guy, like Jacksepticeye, loves this game. You're separating the 3.1 million that Angry Joe has and the 15 million that Jacksepticeye has. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's why they're not showing these, because Angry Joe's going to hate it, Jacksepticeye is going to love it. Yeah. So these guys, these group of people aren't going to play it, and this one are.
Yeah, you know the thing is at some point you have to show off your game, though, and like this game, I tell you what, this might surprise people because I'm super excited for this. It's probably my most anticipated game for next year. But if we saw no gameplay, like zero gameplay for this until release, and like
I would not buy it.
I would not buy it at launch.
No, because
I'd be like,
here's the thing.
I have no idea what this is going to be.
One thing that bringing up Angry Joe, he defends, and I like, is people need to stop expecting games to just like game companies need to stop expecting people to just throw their money at a game and expect it's good. Right? Game companies need to do their job and make a good game and show that it's going to be good so people will buy it.
Well, here's the thing.
People are sick of throwing their money at promises.
Honestly,
like, it's going to be this great game like Anthem.
Just show me the gameplay for this game and I would be on board. Like, I can already tell you, based on the 22-second glimpse we got of gameplay, if it's anything like that, I'm on board.
Yeah.
You know, so
there's
it's like...
not much that you're going to have to do for me to be interested in an Avengers game.
So it's just like...
I've been waiting 10 years.
Exactly. It's kind of like with Elder Scrolls.
Show us a little bit of...
They showed gameplay. I'd be like...
Yeah, they could show a cinematic and I'd be like, I'm buying it. Yeah. I can tell you right now I'm buying it.
Well, yeah, I could pre-order it right now on it.
That's the thing. It's like, just show me a little bit of gameplay. I'd be on board. My biggest confusion thing was just, why didn't they show the gameplay to the public? They had an entire demo they showed to people.
Yeah, they could have very well showed gameplay. Yeah. It's kind of like the same criticisms we had with like XCloud. Like, you can show gameplay, why not just do it? It gets people more excited and hyped for it.
I would be 10 times more excited for Avengers than I am if they showed gameplay.
And
I'm already excited.
And me too. I'm already excited, which is a game that... It's kind of a game that I'm not usually a big fan of. Like, I'm super interested in this game, just because I think it'll be a fun game to play for all three.
Because I tell you what, that reveal would have made me even more excited. Like, I would be... This E3 would have been higher for me if I had gotten gameplay for that, because that's what I was kind of looking forward to. And it was just really disappointing we didn't get anything like that. The story seems cool. I'm intrigued by the story.
Captain America.
Yeah, it seems like Captain America dies, which is cool. I doubt that'll stay. But we predicted on the Square Enix one that he'll come back. But, like, the story-wise, it seems interesting. We also mentioned there's the possibility it's set in the Spider-Man universe because they're on the West Coast, and Spider-Man says that.
Is Spider-Man in this Avengers game?
No,
not that we know of.
They haven't announced.
Oh.
But
no, he could be, for sure.
That'd be cool.
It'd be so cool if he showed up and he's in the White Spider with for the PS4. That'd be awesome. That'd be amazing. Like, we're building the GCU. The GMCU.
That'd be sick.
Or no, the MG.
And they're saving Hawkeye for, like, an Xbox exclusive. Wouldn't that be cool? Like,
that's my only doubt. That's my only doubt is that the Spider-Man one was exclusive in this season. Yeah, so that's why I wouldn't think.
That would be the biggest reason as to why it wouldn't happen.
My favorite moment during that conference is when they were they finished showing the play stuff, and the guy just yells, "Where's Hawkeye?"
Yeah. Honestly, somebody should have yelled back and just been like, "Who cares?"
Who cares about Hawkeye?
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like,
he was just missing. Like, he's one of the core 6, and he's just gone.
It is weird. It is weird that he's missing, but it's also like,
are you saving it for DLC?
It sounds like,
why does Black Widow look like a man? That's what somebody should yell.
That's one of the other complaints, though, is the look of the characters that I've seen a lot of people...
Somebody showed like a comparison to the SNL skit.
A lot of them look more...
Why do the Avengers characters look like this? And it's like the SNL people dressed up as the... Yeah.
Why do... Thor looks a lot more like his comic book character.
Yeah,
so, like, I don't see why people are thinking about that.
Well, because it looks like his beard is photoshopped on. That's why. People are like...
Everyone's got to remember, too, though, this game's a year away. They're still developing it.
Oh, yeah. That's just what I've heard.
Real fast, look at Luigi's Mansion. We saw a trailer for that last year. It did not look nearly as good.
They've upgraded it a ton. Like lighting and everything.
I mean, imagine how much coding you can do in 6 months. Because realistically, that's about what they have. They have 6 months to develop this game, and then about 3 months to probably package it.
Package it and finish it off. Dot some T's.
It'll probably go gold around January, February.
Yeah.
Or maybe a little later. I guess it's May, so we'll see. But... Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's plenty of time for them to make things look even better. You know, I don't think there's. I'm being cautiously optimistic about this game. That we got plenty of time to see more stuff from it. As much as I would have loved to have seen gameplay for it, we have time.
Well, I'm telling you what, if they can come out with some sick gameplay, I'm like, I might even pre-order it right away because it's gonna be so fun to play. Especially if they say it's like a 3-player game.
They did
co-op.
announce that it isn't going to be co-op for the whole story. Which kind of.
But it is going to have like a giant online thing.
Yeah,
that's another
So
thing.
we
is,
won't be able to play the whole campaign.
No, the campaign single player, but they have 4-player online co-op missions.
Well, that's gonna be so dumb. You're gonna play as all the Avengers alone.
This is gonna be an ongoing game, though. That's the big part.
I hope enough people are mad about that they can change that.
I don't. It's not that big of a deal to me personally.
No, but imagine how
I enjoy a single player.
playing
Yeah, me
as
too.
all the Avengers alone like that.
Yeah, it's gonna go back and forth.
Yeah,
But think about how cool it'd be. Like all 3 of us, I could be like,
It would,
you could.
but
be
we're going to
Thor.
be able to do that.
Yeah.
We're going to do that with different missions in the story.
Yeah, it just won't be. And the missions for multiplayer will have story. It just won't be like the main story of the game.
Oh wait, so the multiplayer is gonna be story. It's not gonna be like
of course.
fighting.
story missions.
Yeah, it's not just going to be us
It's
running around in
4-player
an empty
co-op.
room.
No, what I'm saying is like it's not like player versus player.
No,
No, it's 4-player co-op. I mean, I imagine they might have player versus player too.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be like a co-op thing. Like it just they're like almost side missions that you can do. It'd
That'd
be like
cool. Okay,
yeah, it's like and the thing is the switching off between the Avengers actually sounds super fun.
becomes the
because
Game Pass.
Arkham Knight, it's like you could switch off between Batman and like Nightwing mid fight. That'd be awesome if.
I hope I
single
don't
player
have
you
to
could do that.
beat the main campaign to do that because I don't know if I want
To do
buy
what?
the game to do that to play the multiplayer.
Oh no! Why would they do that?
You want to play the campaign too.
Yeah, 2019 E3 2019. We're back. Sorry, we had a tangent
Yeah.
which we uploaded as a separate episode.
It should cut pretty nicely though.
Hopefully, we'll see.
Because we were like, okay, Nintendo, and then we went on to the tangent. So
Yeah,
now
we'll
it's
see
like, okay,
how it
Nintendo,
goes.
we're back.
But speaking of Nintendo at E3, they had my favorite showing by far. I freaking loved what they did. I loved the Banjo-Kazooie reveal was amazing. That was
Whoa, spoilers!
such a
You
great
jump into the
moment.
end.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump into the moments I cared about most, and then obviously
Oh my
Breath of
gosh.
the Wild 2. I
I'm
couldn't believe
still
it. Like those,
shooken up about those two.
yeah, both of those reveals were
It's
insane. to me.
blowing my like Hasten. If he was watching us, I still have yet to see a reaction.
I
like
wish we were recorded. Our
Oh my
reactions,
gosh.
'cause
Next
we were
year,
going insane.
up in the air, like-
next year we plan on going to E3. But
Yeah.
If
should
we ever
record
do,
our
we got to
reactions
just
now.
record
recorded.
reactions.
We were
we do.
10 feet in the air, like we were high
I was
fiving each other
losing-
as hard as we could.
I was losing my freaking mind.
It was the most nuts I think I've ever reacted to anything being announced.
Yeah, both of those back to back were like
Like my voice was
such
gone
a home
instantly.
run.
Instantly.
Yeah, because
Oh my
Banjo-Kazooie caught me so off guard. I couldn't believe they did a second Smash reveal, and then to
Yeah.
end it with Breath of the Wild 2. Like,
Oh my
what
gosh,
the
something
heck?
so like crazy that I did not think would get announced
No.
at all.
No.
I don't think anybody thought Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
Ever.
And then more so, I loved seeing more Luigi's Mansion 3. I'm excited for that.
And the new Animal Crossing actually looks pretty cool, pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I've never gotten into it, but
Yeah,
I actually think I would.
there was a few things in there that I wasn't like that aren't my cup of tea. You know,
Yeah.
like we were saying, there's like in the middle was a lot of like more anime, foreign stuff, and so not my cup of tea necessarily, but there was definitely a lot of stuff in there.
We
that I
got
was interested in.
Witcher 3 is coming to
Hero
Switch.
coming to Smash. We got 2 Smash reveals, which I was
Yeah.
super excited about. Banjo, obviously,
Luigi's
more so.
Mansion.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
talked
Luigi's
Luigi's Mansion, and Luigi's Mansion looks sick. I was disappointed that they didn't talk about it, but there are going to be Portrait Ghosts, which I've heard, which is sick. They're not called Portrait Ghosts, but basically the same thing. I remember in the moment for some reason I wasn't like super hyped, but after watching like gameplay of the treehouse and seeing there was like a director ghost and it looked really
Yeah.
cool.
Well,
I'm
it's
so
it's
for it.
confirmed too. One thing that I'm super excited about is it's confirmed that Portrait Ghosts are back.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was saying. Yeah, like
yeah,
I know they're not called Portrait Ghosts, but they're like around the same.
they're called
thing.
like character ghosts
Yeah,
and stuff.
and it cool to think too is everything we've seen as far as treehouse and trailers is only the first 2 floors
One thing I'm
of
really
the hotel, which apparently they're supposed to be like 60.
well, and they didn't even say which.
Oh
floors
yeah,
they are.
they
So-
and they literally just said we've only seen 2 floors
yeah.
out of everything. All
Yeah,
the
so
trailers.
and it looked like there was a screenshot of the elevator buttons, and there's like 12 or something. Like there's a lot, so
Yeah.
still a ton more to see with that game. Another thing that gets me excited is they confirmed they haven't revealed who the composer is yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm So I'm really hoping that they announce it's the guy who did the first Luigi's Mansion.
Oh my gosh.
We'll see. I mean, I
doubt
it.
I seriously doubt
it.
Especially from what we've heard already.
Yeah, it doesn't sound.
It sounds more like
Dark Moon, which is fine.
Dark Moon has good songs too. Honestly,
it does. I mean, I really wish it was the original composer because the Luigi's Mansion
so
1
much
is my favorite. My favorite style of music for Luigi's Mansion. But
we also got multiplayer announcement. We got it's called like the Haunted
and co-op. The
Mansion
entire game's co-op.
Skyscraper. So it's up to
Scarescraper.
It's up to 8-player co-op. Which Nintendo, I love that they do this because no other games do it this. But
they don't limit themselves to the 4 players.
They're just like 8 players. 4 players are Gooigi and 4 are normal.
Not just like online. Local.
Like you said, we got co-op campaign, which Gooigi will be in the campaign no matter what, even if you're single player.
Also, did you hear this crazy thing about Gooigi? How Gooigi is like, it's super crazy. So you know how he's in the 3DS one?
Yeah.
Apparently, EGAD made him during the times of Dark Moon.
Yeah.
And then sent him back in time to Luigi. Luigi's Mansion
literally
1.
During,
and now he's back.
So I played it.
It's cool.
Literally during the campaign. It's like one of the few things they added into the main story. Is you're literally just walking. All of a sudden, instead of getting the dun dun dun, like the normal ringtone, all of a sudden it's like the dun 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 dun, like the one from Luigi's Mansion 2. And then it brings up and it's like a futuristic EGAD, and it's a complete different from the normal ones you're getting.
Oh really?
And then he's like, don't be alarmed, Luigi. I'm from the future. And he's like, I'm sending you something special. And it goes like, and Luigi pumps up, and then
that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, it's way sick. And so it's such a cool thing.
I hope they make Luigi's an alt for Smash. Yeah. That'd be cool.
And they should, honestly.
That'd be awesome.
But yeah, we got a ton of cool reveals with that. I mean, like you said, the campaign. I think campaign being co-op is gonna be sick for like some people like us. We'll actually be able to do it together. So
for sure. So. I think that wraps it up for Nintendo, right? Do you guys have anything else to say about
it? I'd like to go like more in depth with probably like, I guess we already did with like our Nintendo press conference.
Yeah, and I'm sure me and you will talk about more about the Nintendo stuff later on.
A lot of these we are skipping off over some small stuff that just because we already done reactions.
Yeah, we've done, like I said, go check them out,
just our top level thoughts on the whole thing.
And if you're interested in just finding out everything about Nintendo, hearing our like fresh reactions, go check it out. Like it's one of our nearest videos, or one of our most recent ones.
One thing I wanted to do now is I want to get your guys' ranking of all the conferences.
Okay.
I have mine here. If you guys want to take a second to think about yours, but I'll go ahead and go over mine. So for me, number 1 is actually I'll start at the bottom. I'll go upward. In 6th place for me, it's EA. EA wasn't even really a press conference. It was just kind of a play thing. Not my favorite. 5, I have Ubisoft. It was okay. Outside of Watch Dogs 3, I didn't really care for much. 4, I have Bethesda. I thought Bethesda, main thing I cared about was Ghostwire. That was about it. 3rd, I have Square Enix, because I loved the Avengers moment, and then the Final Fantasy VII stuff looks awesome. So I thought Square Enix's conference it didn't drag on too long. The middle was a little hard for me, but other than that. 2, I have Xbox. The beginning of Xbox's conference, I was super into. I was feeling it the entire way. It dropped the ball a little for me at the end, but otherwise I loved it. And then number 1, I had Nintendo. Nintendo, without a doubt, took it for me. Without Nintendo, this E3 would have been a pretty big letdown for me, but Nintendo saved it for me. Like those reveals at the end, like we were saying, Banjo, Breath of the Wild 2, like I was freaking out. That was probably one of my favorite E3 moments of all time. So that's my ranking. How about you?
Okay.
Who's next?
Are you ready, or do you want me to go?
You go.
Okay. So my 6th is Nintendo. Just because it didn't have anything for me. I can totally understand. I've seen all the reactions of people going crazy over the Smash stuff.
Yeah.
But Nintendo... Oh, and Breath of the Wild stuff, too.
Mm-hmm.
But Nintendo 6 for me. Bethesda is number 5, just because they didn't do anything I was wanting.
Yeah.
I wanted to see more of...
right.
Starfield, even. Like, even the Starfield.
Even
it's got to come soon.
More mention of it, for real.
And then I had EA, just because I'm excited for Fallen Order. Everything else was like, meh. Then I had Ubisoft because of Watch Dogs Legion, and I was actually kind of interested in that Ghost Recon depending on if I see some gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had Square Enix just because Avengers game. That's like my most hyped game, and then it actually made me kind of want to play the Final Fantasy series, Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
And then Xbox just because, and not even Xbox just for games, but Xbox had the most content of any press conference.
Yeah.
Plus they had this whole Game Pass thing that they started releasing. They announced a console. They had a few games that I was interested in. I'm going to play Gears 5. I'm going to probably play Halo Infinite.
Especially now that they're on Game Pass Day
And
One.
they're basically free.
Yeah.
So.
Pretty low reason not to.
Yeah, that's my reasoning then.
Mm-hmm. Tanner?
That's my list.
Yeah, real quick. I will go ahead and start. But one thing I want to mention is I also want to bring up some stuff that wasn't just a conference, but something that I think was up there. So I'll go in order of what I think was best about E3, but I'll give like rankings for each conference.
Okay.
So in 6th place, I think with the worst part of E3, which is EA. Obviously, I didn't even watch the conference. It was the only one I didn't even turn on.
Right back.
I guess if we're talking like as far as ranking, my next would be Google Stadia, even though they didn't have necessarily a conference. I think they were bottom tier for me.
I forgot about Stadia. But.
The talking about it, even though it technically wasn't during E3, it still was. In 5th place, as far as the conferences go, it's Ubisoft, just because, Watch Dogs Legion was awesome, but that was about it for me, that whole conference. And I did turn that one on. I saw Watch Dogs Legion. They weren't really talking about anything else, so turned it off. Then I have Square Enix because I'm really excited for this Avengers game. I have big hopes for it. I'm hoping that, it's good and it's not what people are thinking. And then I thought that, what else did they talk about? Final Fantasy actually looks pretty cool, and I'm interested in trying it out. After Square Enix, I actually have Bethesda, which Bethesda was kind of cool, and I was actually going to put them under Square Enix, but the only reason they took the edge for me is because we got like Blades for the Switch, and then like Doom Eternal looks really cool. But then after Bethesda, right before I get to my top 2 as far as the press conferences, which are pretty obvious, I have Bungie, which is Bungie did theirs like a couple days before, where they announced Shadowkeep, and they also announced cross saves, which I think was a huge deal. They said they're working on cross play, and that it could potentially even happen in Destiny 2's life cycle, which I think would be awesome.
It'd be crazy.
Because then if Connor even wanted to, he could just play on the PlayStation. But Bungie was really talking about a Bungie-controlled Destiny because you guys probably know I've mentioned it before, but I'm sure you guys know if you're listening at this point. Bungie is now separated from Activision. They don't have the limits of a big publisher over them to where they're having to pump out content, that costs money. They said most stuff from now on, will be a la carte, to where you don't have to have Forsaken to buy the new DLC. You don't have to have the entire base game. Like, you can just buy that. And then after Bungie, I have Gearbox, because Gearbox talked about Borderlands 3. They announced the new DLC for Borderlands 2. We got a ton of info about Borderlands 3. We got new characters and talked about. It's going to be like 3-4 times bigger than Borderlands 2.
Did they show gameplay?
Oh yeah, Borderlands 2's had tons of gameplay. I remember seeing like a video where like one of the people I watched for Borderlands 3, Killer 6, played with Jack Black, and they played Borderlands 3. Which is pretty cool. And then back to the press conferences. At number 2, I have Xbox. Xbox would have won it if Nintendo didn't blow it out of the water at the end. Xbox, like I said, had a near perfect conference. I think that they talked about a lot, but they also just forgot to mention a couple things about like xCloud and the console. And then Nintendo's number 1. The reason they took it over for me is literally the last 5 minutes of the conference. Like, the entire rest of the conference was kind of a meh, besides like Luigi's Mansion. It was kind of like an okay, but like they blew it out of the water with Banjo. Banjo alone got E3 for me. Like, it made it to where it was that much better.
And then that stacked on top of Breath of the Wild.
Oh my gosh,
Goodness.
nuts. But yeah, so I think as far, like I said, we mentioned at the beginning of this episode, I think the C3 was pretty good in my opinion. So,
and then I wanted to real fast. What was your guys? What's your most anticipated games coming out of E3 now? We now have a lot of games revealed
that we've seen at E3.
That we've seen at E3, regardless if it was just a cinematic or gameplay or whatever, if release date or not. What are you now looking forward to most? I have a top 5 list.
I have 2. I only have 2 that I'm really like crazy looking forward to that come straight to mind. So first one, Cyberpunk 2077. I'm really excited for that. It was just a cinematic, but it did look like awesome.
Yeah,
Like, they
Keanu
We got
Reeves,
some, and we got some gameplay, and the gameplay looks pretty cool.
very little. I don't know. Did they show gameplay?
They showed gameplay.
It was like a tiny bit right after Keanu came out when they
Yeah.
revealed the release date.
And then Avengers for me.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
You want to go ahead and
For
do
me,
yours?
real fast, I have a top 5. So my 5 is Jedi Fallen Order. I'm looking forward to it. I wasn't blown away by what I saw gameplay wise, but I'm holding out that it will be better than what was shown. Then Avengers, we've already talked about that. Luigi's Mansion 3, Ghostwire Tokyo. I'm looking forward to that because the trailer looked really cool and I love Tango. And then my number 1 is Breath of the Wild 2. I know that's years off. I know that we're not getting that for a while, but just seeing that, like, I'm so pumped for it. I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and just say, like, I have a lot of the same ones. Odyssey, Jedi Fallen Order, I'm really hyped for. Cyberpunk, I'm really interested in. I want to see more, but already I'm set on that game.
Yeah,
think
if I
it's gonna
saw
be
more
amazing.
gameplay for Cyberpunk, I think I'd be even more on board.
And then Avengers, I'm really excited for. I mentioned it. I'm more excited than I thought I would be. And then I have Luigi's Mansion, obviously. I have Smash Brothers because we're gonna get Hero, we're gonna get Banjo.
Yeah.
Even though it's an old game,
If you counted
I still count
Smash
it.
Bros. DLC, then that would
And then
be up there for me.
I'm gonna
for sure.
count Destiny as well because Destiny's getting Shadowkeep. We're getting a whole new life cycle. You know, it's gonna be more ongoing than we thought. And then Breath of the Wild is number 2 for me, just because the only reason it's number 2 is just because it's a little ways off. I want to see more, but I'm so excited what we got to see. And number 1, it's Borderlands 3, obviously. Borderlands 2, literally one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. And to see Borderlands 3 basically doing what Gearbox wants, and they're not trying to shy too much away from Borderlands 2. They're not trying to change too much, and they're not going like loot box or microtransactions. That all like keeping it core to the story and the game itself is awesome. So I'm so hyped. I'm glad it's coming this year. You know, it's one of the only games coming in 2019. So yeah, super hyped.
Nice. So overall, out of score of 1 to 10, what'd you guys give this E3?
I'm going to give it the same score I gave the Xbox press conference, which is a 7. And the reason I give it a 7, I actually think I gave Xbox an 8. But the reason I give it a 7 is because there's so much good, but there was just a big chunk missing. You know, we didn't have PlayStation. We also didn't have a lot more.
Felt kind of like a filler year.
Yeah, I think the fact that PlayStation is gone, it takes a whole point away for me. And then I wanted to see more.
Surprise for you. I thought that would raise a point.
As much as
they're now a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
FU PlayStation.
As much as I hate PlayStation,
It's actually an 11 out of 10 since PlayStation. was there.
as much as I hate PlayStation, they do announce a lot of games. They do bring a lot to the table, and they do.
It has a whole nother venue for potential third party.
And if you
reveals.
think about it, a lot of people probably didn't go to E3 this year because they're
of
like,
that.
it's not worth it because PlayStation's not.
Well, also, it's like you think about it, it's like there was a possibility maybe Rocksteady would have revealed their game if there was another stage to do it
Yeah,
on. Who knows?
Destiny, Bungie might have done theirs on the PlayStation stage, but so PlayStation's not there, it gets rid of the whole point for me. And then I wish we could have more talk about like xCloud. A big hope that I was wanting so bad that we were like hoping would happen was like Game Pass or Xbox Live on Nintendo Switch, some sort of partnership. We didn't even
We got Banjo though.
we got Banjo, but
That's
we
the
didn't
biggest
get
thing.
anything else.
That's what I care about most.
You know, so we still could potentially see some sort of direct or even inside Xbox with that, but I don't know.
I think
see.
I think I'm right there with you. I think I'm a 7 out of 10 as well. I think we got some great stuff from Nintendo.
amazing
Personal wise, there was some amazing stuff from Nintendo. Otherwise, besides the personal stuff, I could see how people who aren't like fans of Smash don't really care about characters coming to it. And then like Xbox, you know, we all have Game Pass, but I could see how people who don't have Game Pass kind of just
We're
being
like,
like, whatever, you know. So overall, I kind of feel like it was mostly meh. Like there was some amazing moments, you know, Keanu, Banjo, Breath of the Wild 2, you know, but like otherwise, pretty middling for me overall.
Yeah.
So I'm 7 out of 10 as well.
Yeah, I feel like I'm being harsh, because I'm at like a 4 out of 10
Oh wow.
for me. Because like
Even with Xbox?
it's slightly below average. When you think about it, like 4,
That's
5
true.
is an average.
It's a good point. I actually might take it down to 6.
Yeah,
Now that you mention
that
it.
means it's slightly above average. You know what I mean?
But I don't know. I defend it because people act like this E3 was terrible.
It wasn't
It wasn't
really
ter-
good.
It wasn't terrible, but
it was
also
not
wasn't-
There's
bad.
been better E3.
For
Well, yeah,
sure.
but it wasn't a 4. I don't know. But
4 out of
anyway,
10.
it's your
That's
opinion.
what I'm giving it. So 4 out of 10 because the only games that really interested me were. I mean, there was games that interested me, but the only games I really care about are the Avengers game and then maybe Cyberpunk. And
Yeah.
Because I'm still not sold quite on Borderlands 3. You know what I mean? And then, which they were at like every conference. They were just like, we're here, we're here,
Yeah.
we're here.
Yeah.
We're PC Gaming Show, we're here. It's like, they were all over the place. So I'm not quite sold on it. I didn't get any of the Starfield stuff that I wanted. So.
Yeah. I actually, if you were to eliminate Banjo and Breath of the Wild 2 and then the Luigi's Mansion 3 stuff, I honestly would probably give it like a 5 out of 10. Like,
No, see, Xbox's press conference alone
Well,
got
but
me
that-
5 points.
That's
that's
where
the
I'm
thing,
at.
yeah,
That's what gets it
yeah,
to a
that's what
4.
gets it to the 5 is for me is like, because
Yeah.
outside of Xbox's conference, then
Oh yeah,
it's like,
no, literally,
eh.
if Xbox was gone and Nintendo, it would have been a 0 out of 10 for me.
That's what I'm
there
saying.
was nothing besides without Xbox and Nintendo. This was the
like
worst.
That's what I'm
E3
saying.
I've
If I'm
ever seen.
if I'm picturing it in my head, it's like if I give it a 7 out of 10, it's like 4 of those points are for Nintendo for me, just because of Banjo and Zelda, and then it's like, I give 2 or 3 to Xbox, and then maybe like a half a point to everyone else. So
Square Enix probably gets a full point for me as far as like
I guess that's true
for Final Fantasy and Avengers.
yeah.
They
Mine's
had
all just Xbox.
they had
and
at
Square
least
Enix.
one more game than.
Because I didn't have that interest in Nintendo like you guys, so that's where my interest drops off. Because like you guys,
Yeah.
What about
giving these
Witcher
guys
for you
points.
though?
That
Like,
makes
Witcher
sense.
was that an interest for
I
you?
couldn't
for
get into
Nintendo?
Witcher. I have it on PC. I have it on the best place to play
It's
it.
weird. None of us could get into Witcher.
Couldn't
It's
get
actually
into
kind
it.
of surprising.
But I feel like I might now that it's on Switch. I feel like I couldn't get into it because I'd have to invest so much time. I'd have to sit down and invest
still
time.
will.
But now I can take it on
that's
the go.
what's surprising.
I can
Though, is
literally
that sounds
take it on
like
the go.
your favorite thing.
Well, yeah.
You love to sync time.
Well, yeah,
and
but
stuff.
I think it's just because at the time when Witcher came out, there was so much more for me. I remember I had I still was playing Borderlands. I had Destiny. I had all these other games. So yeah, I feel like I can finally get into like something like Witcher, because Witcher was like very very heavily like the nerd, like
Yeah.
Magicka. And shit.
I think
so much.
2020's E3
It's
has
gonna
the
be
potential to
insane.
be amazing.
Oh, it's gonna be
Like,
nuts.
It has the potential to be the best E3 of all time.
No, we literally
Yeah.
were talking about it in our E3 press conferences talks. Like almost everything is next year. Like
It
we
really
didn't
is.
get we like
New
nothing
consoles.
for this year.
2019 's gonna be-
Bethesda's going to have a good conference next year, I believe, because they're going to show. They have to show
They
something.
have to
for
show Starfield. They're gonna.
Xbox is going to have. They've got to have more exclusives.
No,
well, they're
because
going to talk about their
they've bought all
entire
these
and release
They bought all
dates.
these companies. We're gonna have console releases. We're probably gonna get a new Rocksteady game.
Yeah.
Like next year, E3 is gonna be awesome.
I bet you Xbox will like not most, but like at least half their studios they purchased are going to be launching a game with the
With
new
the new
Xbox.
consoles.
Like I said, next year's going to be nuts because it's going to be the console wars again. It's going to be a 2012.
it's gonna be a fun year.
It's going to be a
It's going
2012.
to be way fun. And like we always say,
And we get to do a
competition-
console wars episode.
Yeah,
I always
and-
wanted to do one.
And like
we
we
did one
said,
back in the day. With,
competition breeds excellence.
Yeah, it
And
does.
that's the most important thing. Is like
as long as there's
regardless.
competition, gaming will be good.
Exactly, and that's the thing is like regardless of your opinions on things. I know Tanner isn't the biggest PlayStation fan.
Well, and
but
here's
it's
the
like
thing too is like
it's
I-
like if there wasn't PlayStation, Xbox would be so much worse.
Poop
and
out
don't get
garbage.
don't get
Yeah,
me
it
wrong.
would.
The way I
Because
look
there
at
wouldn't be a
PlayStation
real
is-
There wouldn't
contender
be.
to that.
I
Yeah,
don't-
exactly.
I don't-
Because
Nintendo's not a
Nintendo,
competitor.
they do
Yeah.
their own thing.
And I don't
Nintendo
want
is satisfied doing
PlayStation
whatever they
to
want.
go away by any means. The only thing I want is just less corporate greed.
Because here's the thing.
Because I don't.
whole-
they should keep their exclusives.
the whole
but I
reason-
don't like how much they're being with cross play and
the whole reason we got Xbox to purchase all these studios they bought the last couple years
Because of
is because
PlayStation.
of PlayStation.
Well, yeah.
They would never have
backwards
invested
compatibility
in
we
these
talked
companies.
about.
Yeah.
Xbox would not have been like, oh, let's do backward compatibility. They had no plans.
Like
until-
Xbox was sitting there and they were like, we need to buy studios because God of War, Uncharted, Last of
Spider-Man.
Us, Spider-Man. Holy frick, we need to buy studios to do
Horizon.
this too. Yeah, like there was so much coming out. And Death Stranding, they got Kojima. Like my gosh, so that's why competition is so important. Is that we get these excellent titles and excellent moves from these companies. So next year is gonna be fun. There's gonna be I'm
we'll be
so
at
curious to
E3 for the console
I'm
wars,
so
baby.
excited
Yeah.
to see how the dynamics like come into play and how the ebb and flow goes because it's gonna be
One heck of a year.
one heck of a year for sure.
I just realized that like we might be at E3 for the freaking console.
Oh, we
wars.
will.
Like, that'll be
I'm gonna be there.
Real fast, I want to ask you guys before we end this episode. Do you guys want to? It's up to you, but we could do like an office quiz or a
How long
tier
would this
listing
episode
and
be?
put and I'm saying and put it on the other episode at the end. So because that other episode's going to be about 40 minutes, which is fine. But
Yeah,
we
let's
could,
do it real
we could tack on just like
yeah,
another
that's fine.
Let's do it.
10-minute thing. So let's end this episode and then we'll do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that's our E3 2019 recap. it was a so-so year, but lots of fun, exciting stuff for the future coming, I'm sure. What are your thoughts on this year's E3? You can leave it in the comments below. We'd love to read it on the next episode and stuff like that.
Are you guys excited for next E3?
Yeah. Are you guys going to next E3? We can see you
We
guys.
can meet up. Yeah, you want to meet up the Super Basement Bros?
Basement Bros meetup.
We'll have like we'll be in like the alleyway, and there'll be like a cardboard box, and we'll be like, "What's up, guys?" And we'll get stabbed and mugged and robbed for our kidneys.
No, we'll be doing that. No, just kidding.
No, I'm just kidding. That's how we're gonna make our money.
Yeah.
Oh, our kidneys!
We need something. Yeah, meet us in the
Gotta
back
eat
alleyway
something.
at E3. For
The back
fun
alleyway
meet
of E3.
and greet. Yeah.
meet us 2 months after E3's ended, and we'll be
Yeah,
at
our
conventions.
E3 meet and greet will actually be 2 months after E3 in a bathroom. So.
You
Right,
can
what's
meet
up?
and greet if you know what I mean.
Anyway.
Meet and greet is D. Greet my meat.
Oh my god, we're gonna get kids,
copyright
just like
strike.
Dr. Disrespect or whatever.
We're gonna get canceled.
Anyway,
We're like
thank you
live
guys.
streaming in the bathroom. Come greet my meat.
This is our meet and greet for E3.
Is that a
It's
camera? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
E3 ended.
We're
2
not on
months
Twitch. Don't worry.
E3 ended 2 months ago. Oh, it did. What?
Oh, it did. I've been getting my meat greeted.
Oh, that's what those guys were E3 fans. Alright.
Anyway, we thank you guys for joining us. Follow us on all your favorite podcast services, all that jazz. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye. Dab. Dab, dab, dab.